All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Morning Day 2025. Woo! Morning Day 2025 is brought to you by SIMDI Group's key division, SIMDI Bev and MONIN. Morning Day is once again hosted at the iconic, beautiful resort of the Maldives, Kurumba Maldives. Let's all give a round of applause to our friends at Kurumba. Thank you so much, Kurumba. So everyone, let's start today with a thought. Any day that begins with morning is already a good one. But a morning day, that's a deliciously exciting day, right? I'm sure we're going to have so much fun today. So it's an absolute pleasure to have all of you here today on this special occasion where we explore flavor, innovation, and creativity, all in the signature morning style. We at SIMDI Group are honored to be the exclusive distributor of MONIN products in the Maldives since the year 2010, a journey of 15 flavorful years and counting. Over the years, our partnership has helped shape vibrant beverage menus across resorts, restaurants, and bars throughout the country. But today's session is extra special because we are joined by some truly remarkable people whose passion and expertise in flavor innovation might just shake and stir your world. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm Maldivian welcome to Mr. Miroslav, the Managing Director of MONIN Middle East, Mr. Nana, beverage expert of MONIN Middle East, and Mr. Angelo, MONIN Trade Marketing Manager, Middle East, Asia, and Subcontinent. Welcome to the Maldives once again. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to have the MONIN team with us today. To all our valuable partners, clients, mixologists, hoteliers, and beverage enthusiasts, this day is for you. Your passion and commitment keep this industry alive, creative, and flavor forward. And now, to formally open the event, we humbly invite the Managing Director of SIMDI Group, Mr. Michel Didi, to deliver the welcome address. Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Michel Didi.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to MONIN Day 2025. We are thrilled to have the MONIN team here with us. Miroslav, Angelo, Nana, welcome to and welcome back to the Maldives. The team and I are thrilled that you're doing this event with us. and I'm certain that this will add immense value to all of us. And we have a full house here, so that's fantastic. To all the participants, thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy what's to come. To you, Shao, and the SIMDI team, thank you for the hard work in putting this together. It's no easy task. To the team at Kurumba Maldives, thank you for having us at your beautiful resort. SIMDI Group, with a rich history of knowledge, experiences, and expertise, dating back to 1972, represents more than 200 brands and 15,000 products and services. We are one of the most diversified companies in the Maldives, offering solutions for various sectors. To name a few, technology, hospitality, healthcare, and agriculture. We are proud to represent internationally recognized brands like MONIN in our portfolio. MONIN and SIMDI started our journey in 2010 with just a handful of syrups and purees. Over the years, we have grown the brand together in the market and now offer an extensive range. I was speaking to Miroslav and the team at MONIN the last few days, and we reflected on our success of MONIN and in being the preferred choice among the resorts in the Maldives. It boiled down to one main point. MONIN and SIMDI both share a vision of being solution-oriented and putting the customer first, to making sure that we add value to our customers and not just sell a bottle. The event is a testament to that philosophy. By hosting such events, we bring the expertise to our shores and uplift the industry as a whole and provide face-to-face solutions to you. MONIN and SIMDI have had a few events together that have been very successful. I am certain this event will set new benchmarks for the beverage industry and innovation in the country as a whole. Thank you, MONIN, for trusting us. I look forward to the event and our future as partners.
Thank you, MD, for those inspiring words. Now it's time for flavor, creativity, and a masterclass in beverage trends. With over 20 years of experience, a place in the bar world top 100, and a heart for sharing knowledge, bringing a world of inspiration in every sip. Let's give a round of applause as we welcome MONIN beverage expert Mr. Nana to the stage. Woo!
Check. Oh, there I am. How's everyone doing? Good. Wow, silence. You've been waiting too long, I guess. How's everyone doing? Good. One more time. How's everyone doing? Good. How's everyone doing? Good. Okay, good. You're awake now. So, as mentioned, my name is Nana Sasher. I'm the regional beverage expert for MONIN, Middle East and Subcontinent. It's been an amazing few days, honestly. It's been so good. Coming to the Maldives, seeing that water, it's much better than seeing the sand in Dubai that I look at every single day. I'll say that much. The sand here is very nice. And it's honestly my pleasure and honor to be here. Seriously. I think it's a big privilege to be able to step up on a stage and speak to other experts and give them something new. So I don't take that for granted, not by any stretch. But today it's going to be about very easy concepts. Very easy. How many of you are bartenders? Raise your hands. Okay, raise them a bit higher, show a little bit more pride. There we go. How many of you are beverage managers? All right, couple in here. Is your job easy? Is it? No, not so much? Do you like easy answers? Well, guess what? I've got some easy answers for you. I've got some easy solutions, because that's what we specialize in. With MONIN, since 1912, it's been about easy answers to support you and your business. That's why I'm here. I'm here to give you some easy solutions to make your life easy at work, and also make sure that the drinks you serve are delicious. I've had some of the drinks. They're delicious. But I believe in good, better, and best. We can always improve. I'm always trying to improve myself. And I think that's how people should be, always trying to be better than they were the previous day. So today, we're gonna look at some easy solutions, easy little twists. But before we get into that, I'm gonna talk a little bit about who I am, just a little tiny bit. So 20 years, yes. I've worked with various brands, yes. But what I love about what I'm doing right now is that I'm working with a company that has the glue. Any beverage solution, any beverage that you have, I've got something for you. Coffee, cocktails, mocktails, all kinds of different things. And now my creativity has surged. Before I was pretty limited in what I could offer, but now there's so much, a big world that I can tap into. And I've been able to come down here to the Maldives, and this isn't the last time you're gonna see me. There's no way I'm looking at that blue water and just gonna stay back in Dubai. I'm gonna come here as much as I possibly can. Trust me, you'll see this face. But in terms of my experience, yes, Bar World 100 was a big honor. You know, it's a list filled with people that I look up to a lot, right? I've been studying these guys since I was young. Tales of the Cocktail, it's another big organization. I'm the co-chair of the business committee there. And again, people I look up to and respect, right? And so the knowledge I get from them, I'm able to transmit to other people. And that's what brings me big joy in this industry, because I think you can never learn everything. It's impossible. It's impossible. Anyone who claims to know everything is delusional. But in our industry, it's such a mountain of knowledge, and if you challenge yourself to learn as much as you can, each and every single day you even step behind the bar, your job becomes much more fun. Trust me, you give yourself a why every single day. And that's what I've done in my career, and why I'm able to come up here and speak to a lot of you guys and try and give you guys some new ideas to play with. So with that said, are you guys ready to play with some new ideas? Yes. You guys are quiet, man. What's wrong with you? You guys want some more water? You thirsty? Are you guys ready to play with some more ideas? Yes. Yeah? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Let's get to it. So, let's talk about MONIN. 1912. None of us were here, man. None of us. 1912. That's how long MONIN has been around. And so when you're looking for an expert, when you're looking for a company that truly understands how this industry works, are you going to trust somebody who's been around since 1912? I didn't hear you guys. Are you going to trust a company that's been around since 1912? Yeah, right? So of course, pioneering since then. It didn't necessarily start with syrups, but there's a history of panache. The word panache, it's this extra flair, right? It's this extra care and dedication that you have to your craft, right? We are a flavor manufacturer, right? I want you guys to really, let's break down what we are as MONIN. We manufacture flavor so we can provide solutions for you. Don't identify us as just the product, right? It's very, very important to me that you identify us as a flavor manufacturer who are your partners and your friends in this industry. But we take so much pride in what we do. When I joined MONIN, so now a little over a year ago, the R&D team was something that really impressed me, right? So research and development, these people who make the ingredients every single day, their attention to detail, their expertise, the ideas that come out of that lab are exceptional. And they're doing this not just for France, where it's based, they're doing this for the world. How many palates are there in the world? I see so many different nationalities, and everyone's got their own signature dish. And as a company, you have to create something that appeals to every single palate in the world. That's exceptional work. So we spend every single month, they send us new products to try, right? We try a new version of our strawberry fruit mix. I just tried the other day. Delicious. We follow the trends of the world because we want to make sure that everyone has something that they can use in their establishments. And so as MONIN, that R&D team, the team at large, very impressive, and it's because of the passion that we all share. And it started with this man on the far left with the big 1912 in front of him. His name is George, and he's the man who started it all. So George Started it in Bourges, France. Bourges is a tiny little town. We have one person, well, a couple people, of course, but one extra person who lives here on the island who has been there. We'll bring him up in a minute because I'd like him to say a few words. Get ready. But George started the company in 1912, and basically it wasn't about syrups back then, it was about exporting. Okay, so we just exported across France to different products, different spirits, different beverages. And in 1932, the export business became very successful. They started exporting across Europe and the Caribbean, and it's not quite the same as it is now when it comes down to export, okay? Caribbean was very far back then. You couldn't just hop on an Emirates flight and get there watching your favorite TV show, right? So logistics were a little different back then. So they were very successful. But then in 1938, after the business expanded, they hit 1 million bottles. Okay? Back then, that's a big number. Today, pretty much most of our markets easily hit approximately a million bottles. Okay? So MONIN back then was expanding. It was mainly about the export business. But when his son, Paul, took over, this is when the syrups came in. And the syrups are basically what has carried us forward to this day. That is our core, right? And if you track the development of beverages in terms of what people consume, it was around the 40s that people were looking at more flavorful solutions in general. They weren't drinking things that were bitter. It wasn't about the medicinal profile anymore. It was about sweetness. It was about ease of consumption. Okay? So that, for me, when I was first learning about MONIN, that was the first little point that I saw that these guys aren't just thinking of making a business to make money. They are forward thinking, always following the trends and providing solutions. And that's what the syrups were about. So, syrup game, 1945, started growing and growing, more markets, more business. And then our current president, Mr. Olivier MONIN, took over. And with Olivier, he's an amazing man, very humble, down to earth, but also very forward thinking. He took the DNA of his grandfather and his father, and now he made it international. Okay, so now the Olivier story takes us to 1996 in Clearwater, Florida. US expansion. And I was just talking about it. If you go into the US, let's put this in perspective. One state, like Texas, has the same amount of people as Canada. Okay, so they have 50 of those that you have to worry about. So if you open in the States, you have to be ready. So the fact that MONIN opened in the States in 1996 means that the business was doing very well. A lot of people were enjoying what we do. 2007, Middle East expansion to Dubai. Okay, so it ended up going with one of our partners that we still are with to this day. And in 2007, Middle East expansion was again very forward thinking. We know they like sugar. We know they like flavors, and they love playing with them in their food and their candy and their traditional dishes. So very forward thinking. 2009, Malaysia. 2012, happy anniversary. So at that point, it was 100 years of MONIN, and Olivier was not anywhere close to being finished. 2015, let's renovate the studio in Paris. That's when it opened up. 17, new manufacturing plant because things had to expand and get bigger. We needed to reach more markets. Shanghai opened up. 2018, we want to reach the farmers. We want to be able to be more natural. We want to be able to control our supply chain. So we started development on our yuzu plantation, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a couple of slides. 19, vanilla. And then in 2020, second plant in the US. Okay, 2 plants in the US, now not only serving the United States, but also my home country, Canada. Okay? So fantastic developments. 2022, now we're hitting India. And the factory is going to be ready soon. It's ready. First quarter next year. There's going to be a factory in India. And we also know, how many of you are from India? Do you like flavors? Do you like sweets? Is that a good decision? Okay, good. So make sure you go say hi to my friends in India at the factory when you go home. So the factory's there. We have the new La Villa Monet as well in France. Beautiful place. I think I'll get my friend to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. And in 2023, South America, Brazil, capoeira. Okay, we're going to be doing some capoeira. I'm not going to flip. The pants are too tight. So capoeira is going to come in. Brazil factory is going to open. And we are just going to keep on expanding our reach because we want to provide solutions for everyone. Okay? So before I move to the next slide, give a round of applause for the work of the MONIN family. So, like I said, our creativity knows no bounds, right? And when you have these solutions, literally, the options are endless, okay? And I've tried to think of endless opportunities and I keep on coming up with new ideas. You might think it's limited because it's just sugar, but no, it's not just sugar. It's natural, it's inventive. There's so many combinations you can put together. There's so much you can do, right? And we had a good time. Actually, before I continue, give a round of applause to Farouk. This guy's been taking me across the island. We've been doing some bar takeovers. We had some great ones, and thank you very much for everything, man. It's been, well, to be continued. So our purpose is to share this passion for creativity. I hope I'm doing a decent job of that so far. And our promise is to support you in your business journey. Okay, so I know a lot of you are bartenders, and your business journey might be about development. I'm very passionate about developing people, very passionate, because when I first started out as a bartender, actually as a barback, I had a boss who didn't want to promote me because I was too good at my job as a barback, right? Can you believe it? And so I went and found a place that would train me, and this place really instilled the passion for training that I have. And so whenever I see young bartenders, I always want you to know that the sky's the limit, it's endless, right? Such a great job. I actually think it's the best job in the world. So enjoy it while you're doing it because it's not always forever, right? But while you're doing it, keep getting better. That's what my promise to you as bartenders will be. And of course, to our partners, I'll be here. You know, you need me, I'll come down. I'll do my thing. And otherwise, we're going to keep on making sure that we can spread this love. So, elevating your imagination every day, I would like to ask my good friend to come up to the stage, Aresta, because every 2 years, we do something called the MONIN Cup. Have you guys all heard of the MONIN Cup? All right. So we have a champion in our midst, champion named Aresta. And we had a really good time in France last year, and rather than me speaking the whole time, I would love Aresta to come up and speak a little bit about his experience. Give him a round of applause.
Oh, so much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So it's been a pleasure for me to stay again in front of you. So thank you so much for Arun. That's been guiding during the competition, and then SIMDI was amazing for us, especially for the young bartender to showing your creativity. And then during the competition in the global final, my mentor Nana always giving guideline, giving feedback, do this, do that. Don't because I know because when we see so many people, especially in the global final, we have like 50 countries worldwide. So we teach you so much, a lot of people, and you'll be nervous. But Nana is my mentor. He was guiding me so much. So the way he speaks to me and giving a lot of activity and giving a lot of invitations was inspired me to go this similar. Right, so the journey in the MONIN Cup is already ended for me, but the experience I learned is a lot. So it will be impact in my life. You know why? Because a lot of people they don't have chance to go because we don't have a lot of competition like this. So I would like to say thank you to SIMDI as been arranged for MONIN Cup. First MONIN Cup in Maldives. It's a lot of learning process for all the young bartenders. And then I want to see for next year for young bartender to show your creativity, and then we can show this of what is magic in the global final. Once again, thank you so much for all the ladies and gentlemen, and then thank you so much, Cindy, especially Nana. You invite me to come here again to show what I learned in the global final this morning. Thank you so much, my Thank you. Thank you, Nana.
Thank you so much, Aresta. So, we don't just believe in creating products and just putting it out there. We want to give back, right? And that's what the MONIN Cup's about. So if you're 27 years or younger, and you're a young bartender, you want to compete, you've got a champion of the country in your midst. He competed on the stage, so there's someone you can reach out to, but also us. You can reach out to us anytime, and we'll help you in your competition entry. I've done a lot of competitions in my day. I didn't always win. And what I will say is I learned the most in my losses. Right? So when you win, you're like, yeah, I'm good, man. Awesome. But when you lose, all of a sudden you've got these little things you can tweak. You understand how you are in different situations. Right? And so we afford this opportunity to young bartenders because every competition I entered, I leveled up. My skills got better. I was able to measure myself against other bartenders in a healthy way. Like not in a competitive way, just oh wow, he's doing that. That's cool. I want to add that to what I do, right? And so as a young bartender, I wish I had the opportunity to compete at 21, 22, 23. Because I didn't start competing until I was 28, 29. I know I don't look old. I'm much older than 29 now, but it is what it is. But yeah, yeah, up here you can tell. But ultimately, when you're a young bartender and you get these opportunities, it gives you more confidence. And then you're able to come back to your venues and pass that on. So that's what we afford. MONIN Cup's going to happen next year, so I really hope a lot of you enter. I'm going to be back. So we'll make this happen, yeah? Cool. Thank you again, Aresta. So, naturality. Natural, right? I think when it comes down to any product that is made, we confuse what natural means, right? A lot of people think naturality has to only grow from the earth, right? But when you're manufacturing something, if you use natural ingredients, and you make sure that those ingredients are able to positively contribute to your dishes, this is another way of looking at naturality, okay? So we are very, very focused as a company on naturality. We're talking about making sure that everything we do is as natural as humanly possible, right? We are not nature. None of us are. We're made of nature. But when it comes down to the care that we put in, everything that we do is about making sure that we can give back in this way. So we have commitments towards not just ourselves, but planet Earth. First one is about making sure that everything we do is 100% as natural as possible. 100% of our flavors, I can proudly say, are natural. 100%. And that's not even a pump fake. No, 100%. We're working on color. I'll get more into this afterwards. And preservatives, there's some things that you still have to work through globally, but we're in the high 80s and high 90s with each of those categories. Okay? So this is something that is impressive for any company. And when it comes down to our range, we're the only syrup provider that has 100% natural flavor. Okay? Give a round of applause for Olivier and the team for making that happen. Because I don't think people realize how difficult that is. Raw material and biodiversity, so I'll talk a tiny bit about this. There's a video coming up very shortly. But basically, we want to be able to produce a lot of the ingredients that we have in our products. So we developed a yuzu plantation. We developed a vanilla plantation as well. And we also have a fruit farm in France that we partner with So it's an old family that has produced this fruit farm for generations, just like we have produced MONIN for generations. And it's a natural partnership. So we've got these three elements and way more to come. Okay? Way more to come. And then the environment. So when it comes down to our water supply in the factories, we all know that carbon footprint is a very big deal. So we minimize our carbon footprint as much as humanly possible. We recycle the water. Zeus is the name of the program. And our water is 100% recycled within the factory. Okay? And then community, passing on knowledge. I talked a little bit about what my intentions are, not just with your community, but every community that we have. But back in France, we teach some of the people with some disabilities about skills that will provide them jobs in the future. And this is something that is very important because sometimes if someone has a disability, you might not have the confidence to think you can make it in life. But we don't believe in that. We believe everyone should have an opportunity to make an honest living. Everyone should have an opportunity to showcase their confidence and increase their skill set. So we take the time to make this happen. Now we will watch some movies. I don't want you to get too tired of my voice.
For the 13th generation, the Maldives Tree Nursery has been preserving all fruit varieties, priceless know-how that we wish to preserve and promote as fruit experts.
Donc on est une pépinière située dans l'Aube, à Montpelin, de 13 hectares 4, qui conserve 350 variétés selon 25 ans différents. MONIN, effectivement, a racheté cette pépinière afin de s'inscrire pleinement dans la filière des fruits. Et nous, on est à la naissance, entre guillemets, des arbres qui vont produire des fruits. La famille Dumont a créé des variétés, mais elle les a aussi conservées et reproduites. 150 variétés de pommes, 150 de poires, une quinzaine d'abricotiers, 40 variétés de figaro, cerises, aigres. Enfin, on est un panel d'arbres fruitiers pour se nourrir. Alors, les valeurs que porte l'entreprise et qui sont portées par Olivier MONIN sont le respect des hommes et de la nature et la transmission.
So just to summarize, that tree nursery has a bunch of different varieties of fruit that we're going to use in all of our syrups, but also in our fruit mixes, and also some of the other new products we come up with. So it's best when a company is able to pick from their own garden. So think of it as MONIN is creating the biggest garden that we possibly can.
Far away from big cities, where the environment is totally preserved, we have decided with our local partner IMRA to create this unique plantation in Madagascar.
IMRA est une fondation reconnue d'utilité publique qui œuvre pour la promotion économique et sociale et aussi pour la préservation de la biodiversité à Madagascar.
L'implantation se situe dans un petit village de même pas 300 habitants. Ici, on a préservé la biodiversité. Au début, on prenait les gens du village qui n'ont même pas le niveau du village. Donc c'était un grand défi d'aller former.
Globalization. Okay, so when it comes down to globalization, now we're in a period where we're losing a lot of traditional herbs, spices, and fruits. A lot of people are ordering the same thing, no matter what country you live in. Okay, a lot of people are. It's just what's happening. We're exposed to more, people are traveling more, but we're losing some of these traditional things. And what I think a lot of us may understand is within each country you have small towns and small farms that produce specific ingredients, right? So there are small towns that produce vanilla, but because big companies are selling vanilla direct to suppliers, these small towns aren't necessarily making the same money they used to make. So what has MONIN done? We have found an opportunity to help some of these small communities earn some revenue back by partnering with them. And this isn't the only example. If some of you stick around for the afternoon session, I'm going to talk about 6 more opportunities that MONIN has taken with a different line of products that we have. But the vanilla plantation, vanilla's everywhere. Everyone wants a little vanilla in their coffee, a little bit of vanilla in cooking and baking. And now we have created this opportunity for all these new communities in Madagascar.
We have already decided to become a farmer. How can we become farmers if we don't grow our own? That's the challenge we have decided to tackle, experimenting our yuzu plantation in Portugal.
Actuellement, on a à peu près 25 hectares de plantés en yuzu et on le produit de manière agroécologique pour préserver les sols, préserver la biodiversité. On utilise des haies qui vont attirer la biodiversité, donc des animaux, et ensuite on va avoir un écosystème qui va se mettre en place. On aura moins besoin d'appliquer des produits pour contrôler d'attaques d'insectes. On augmente aussi les taux de matière organique dans le sol, ce qui contribue à améliorer la santé de la plante et la santé du sol.
We are now becoming farmers. We love to learn and have the will to do the best we can, the MONIN way. We want to offer the best quality from responsible agricultural methods.
So with our yuzu plantation, some of you have tried the yuzu fruit mix. Who's tried our yuzu fruit mix before? All right, I see some hands, but we still have work to do. So with our yuzu fruit mix, Japanese cuisine, Japanese fruits are becoming very, very popular, right? In Dubai, I feel like there's a Japanese, Middle Eastern, Japanese, everything, Japanese fusion all over the place. So yuzu has become a very, very important fruit, but we've taken this opportunity to learn how to become farmers with this fruit so that one day we can produce our own yuzu in our products like the fruit mix. Currently, our fruit mix yuzu comes from Korea and Japan. Okay? But one day, it will come from us 100%. Right? To become a farmer, it's not easy. You can't just become a farmer tomorrow. Right? And we're not going to pretend that we're becoming farmers tomorrow. But what we are going to showcase is that we are 100% committed to becoming the best farmers we can. Not just for our yuzu plantation, not just for our company, but for all of you. This is our commitment. So before I jump into our core business, does anybody have any questions? Feel free, because as much as this is a presentation, I also want to make sure that everyone's understanding and everyone feels comfortable enough to ask any questions that they may have. Any questions so far? No? Good? Let's roll on. Look at this universe. Look at this universe. There's over 160 different flavors that we've created. And this isn't even touching some of the bespoke flavors that we've created, right? India has a few flavors that we've put together for them, right? And we do a little bit of bespoke flavor production depending on the customer, but this is basically what you can get from the mixology universe. Okay? This is just one part of the business. We service HoReCa, so hotels, restaurants, cafes, right? And bars. But all of these are those flavors, and then you have our coffee shop universe. Okay? Pretty impressive. Because from any of these, think of the amount of combinations you can put together. Think about the amount of innovations you can put together. SIMDI's done such an amazing job of getting some core flavors here. But from my perspective, the more creative you become, right? The more committed you become to being our partner, the more we can provide for you, right? We have all these options. And you have international guests coming in from everywhere. Because the Maldives, everyone wants to come to the Maldives. My sister, she saw my Instagram story and she was like, oh, Maldives, I hate you. She's so jealous, because everyone wants to be here, right? So the more committed you are to your craft, the more creative you get, the more people you can serve. So what is a syrup? Yeah? Let's break it down, because I don't believe in getting too technical on the first date. Yeah? This is our first date. I don't want to talk about marriage, but I want to talk about the simple things, yeah? Easy things. So a syrup is basically a concentrated flavor of products using water and sweetener. Yeah? And I say sweetener because it isn't just about one type of sugar. Yeah? It's about multiple types of sugar. Right? You can make sugar from beets. You've got sugar cane, of course. I've seen some on the island. Right? But what we do very well is make these concentrated flavors consistently for the entire world. So we use pure cane sugar in the Maldives MONIN that we have from the Malaysian factory. We also do that in Brazil. In France, we use beet sugar, right? But you're gonna get the exact same profile. It must contain 690 grams of sugar per liter, right? So that gives you a nice round mouthfeel. One thing you'll find with MONIN versus other syrups is that MONIN, you don't have to use as much because there's a nice heavy body. So when you just put a little bit in, you get a beautiful flavor. Some of these other syrups are like water, right? Why? Because they're trying to save money, right? So they're like water. They put these syrups in, and you have to put so much of it in. And the next thing you know, hello, sir, here's your diabetes mojito. Right? Meanwhile, with us, we give you real flavor, natural flavor, balanced flavor. And that's what it should be about always. If you're a bartender, balance should be tattooed on your chest with the scales. Okay? But we also have different regulations for different types of sugars or syrups, because we have our citrus syrups, so you need 610 grams of sugar. And then for our fruit syrups, also very similar, except we have to add 10% of the fruit juice in there, right? So it's not just us throwing flavor essence into different sugar syrups. We have regulations, we've got rules, we've got standards that we follow, right? So when you're choosing the right syrup to use, these are things you need to pay attention to. Yeah? You shouldn't pay attention to one that just has the flavor on there and you need it, so you're gonna buy it. Choose what will give you a standard. You deserve that. You deserve that. So I'm going to share this presentation with Varun because at the end of the day, there's a lot of information there. And today I don't want to go into the science talk, right? But I want to give you a nice overview so you understand. When you look at our label, right, it's not just a bunch of words. These words will highlight what you need to know to understand how natural it is and that there's actually a process. So when we talk about the shelf life of the syrups, I know here it can get hot, right? So you need to store the syrup properly. If it is 45 degrees out, find a cooler room for your syrups. You can store this at ambient temperatures, at room temperature. And why do we do that? Because we don't want you to have to find room in your fridge. That's one reason. You don't have to put it in your fridge. It can be at room temperature. This is perfect, right? And if it hasn't been opened, look at that. Between 18 and 36 months shelf life, if it hasn't been opened. But then there's a secondary shelf life. And what I mean by secondary shelf life is once it's been opened. Okay? Because as soon as you open a bottle of anything, oxygen enters and oxidation happens. But it doesn't mean that our bottles will have to be thrown away because you've opened it. 3 months is typically the secondary shelf life. Depending on the product, it could be 2 months, 1 month, 3 months, okay? Depends on which one it is. But with our syrups, once you open it, what will happen is you might lose some color in month 4, for example. Touch of flavor might be gone, but you can still consume it. But please don't keep the bottle for 4 months. use it. Come on, use it. Don't just keep it on your shelves. That's not what it's there for, right? Find a way to use everything. Don't just order for the sake of ordering it. Order with purpose and make sure that it's used and given to the customers in the best way, okay? But things happen, right? Maybe business is a little slow, right? But just make sure you're storing it in the best way. Flavorings. We have different labels for flavors. So with coffee, you've got saveur, right? And that's because you're not injecting fruit flavor into it, right? So saveur will be a natural flavoring from hazelnut, natural flavoring from vanilla, right? So this is why we use saveur. Saveur en français means flavor, taste, okay? And colorings. This is a very important one. Because as I said, we're trying to become 100% natural. But do you know one of the reasons why we're not 100% natural? And it's because of the color blue and the color green. That Maldives blue, what happens when you take a glass of water from the ocean and you walk away? Does it stay blue? Not quite. When you take a leaf from a tree, I'm gonna keep this green leaf in this jar forever. What happens to that leaf? It turns brown, right? So because of that, because of those two colors and some other colors out there, like purple, right? Purple's another one that doesn't come from nature. Maybe in Mars, I don't know. But colors like that, we're still trying to find a solution for. Okay? So we're at 87%, which is amazing, right? To have 87% color in your production line is fantastic. So that's something we're working on, and we're working on blue spirulina and then all of our green recipes, of course. Grenadine, ours is slightly different than what you might think with grenadine. So we have basically lemon juice and a mix of berries. So strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, blackcurrant, elderberry, and gooseberry. So that's our grenadine. Typically people think pomegranate is what makes grenadine, which yeah, sure, makes some grenadine. But our grenadine is a mix of berries. And it's delicious, as I'm sure most of you have tried. And then of course our sugar-free range, right? So when it comes down to our sugar-free range, it is less sugar. Why did we create a sugar-free range? Health is becoming a very important topic. And as a company that produces syrups with sugar, we have a responsibility to also produce solutions to support healthy journeys. So it's less sweet, but we maintain the body. And we maintain that body using bulking agents like polydextrose and cellulose gum. Now, when it comes down to preservatives, like some of these big scientific names, there's a perception that they're all not good for you or dangerous. This is actually wrong. This is created by food scientists, and a lot of these preservatives that might be put together help with digestion, and actually give you health benefits. So if you do your research on all of these different things you find on products, you'll actually be pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised. And of course we have our pure cane sugar, so natural cane sugar as well, and our agave sugar from Mexico. But the point of showing you these two is to show you that we are sourcing from responsible places. We're responsibly sourcing, and everything that we have is as natural as possible, following our formula. Any questions? No? All right. So we're gonna make drinks soon. I'm gonna call my friend Varun up to the stage, because this is a very important category, the concentré, okay? How many of you enjoy iced tea? Yeah, that was slow. I was like, nobody likes iced tea? This is gonna be terrible. But iced tea is a fantastic and easy application, okay? Something very, very simple for your guests and something very easy to replicate. So we have 6 different flavors of iced tea. Currently we have a couple in the market, but we do have access to others, should there be a demand for it. But one thing you'll notice is on the left-hand side, you have your peach tea, lemon tea, raspberry, and chai. The level of sugar is 600 grams per liter, so less than your typical syrup. It is not a syrup, it's a concentrate of flavor. And then on the right-hand side, you have the less sweet version, white tea and green tea. But these concentrates make your life so easy. A lot of times when you make iced tea, how do you make it? You take tea bags, you steep it in water, and then you take that water that's been steeped in tea bags, and then you add sugar, stir it, store it. Two things. That tea that you make and you stir and store, that's gonna go off in a couple of days. That's one. Two, depending on who's making it, it's not gonna be consistent. One person might steep it for 3 minutes. Oh, I'm too busy. Done, it's finished. One person might steep it for 5 minutes. Oh, I forgot, right? It's always gonna be inconsistent. Unless you have a very disciplined system, you won't have consistency. So those are two things. We want to eliminate the waste potential. Okay? So when you make iced tea with our concentrate, this is going to stay. This is going to be frothy. This is going to be delicious and consistent. And you're about to see. So as I mentioned, 4 products here, and then you've got a 1+8 dilution. Okay? Of course, your menu, your recipes, your guests, you can play with the dilution, but we recommend 1 to 8. So 30 ml, for example, for 240 ml of water. Okay? But you can make mixes with milk. You can test out the different mixers that you want. Sparkling, still, sodas, you name it. Right? There's so many different ways you can go with it. Our black tea extract comes from Asia, so it's from a reputable source, right? Very natural, and like I said, consistency. So we have the lemon tea, we have peach tea, chai tea, and the first cocktail that we're gonna be making. So who likes chai? Chai tea. I love my chai. You know, I love seeing the guys in the marketplaces throwing the chai. You know, it's so good. I can watch that for hours. We are not gonna throw chai. But right now we are gonna put together some samples for you to move around. But I'm an old man. My shoulders are injured from being on the seaplane. It was rocking me around too much and I hurt my back. The cocktail with me. And I'm gonna choose someone strong, someone powerful, someone with skill. I'm looking right at you, sir. The man with the beard. Yes, sir. Come on up. Give him a round of applause. Come on up, come on up. How you doing? Okay, good. What's your name?
I'm Haridash.
Haridash? Very nice to meet you. Step up to your bar. Thank you for helping an old man. My shoulders, they're weak, you know. I hear they have good massage here, you know, so I'm gonna get one later. So, what I want to show you is how easy this is, okay? Remember at the beginning of today, I asked you if you like easy answers, if you like easy solutions, okay? I don't want to be the one to do this because my shoulders are injured, but I've done this 1,000 times. So for someone who may be doing it for the first time, you're going to learn it very quickly. So, step up to the plate. I'll stand over here. And where do you work?
I'm working on Beverages.
Gloria Jeans. Fantastic. Good place. Good place. And so you're a barista.
No, I don't have any experience about it. I am a purchasing officer. But you said no, this is best time. So
This is perfect. This couldn't be any more perfect. He's a purchasing officer. So you're gonna be able, you're not a beverage guy. This is your first time. Ooh, I love it. I love it. So good. Okay, so first things first. You have your spoon, you have your shaker, Okay? Have you shaken a cocktail before? You have not shaken a cocktail? Oh, I love teaching. It's so good. Okay, so grab your shaker, that one right there, and put it right up here so everyone can see. Okay, and grab the second shaker and put it right beside it. Perfect. So, we're gonna follow this recipe right here, and I'll show you on this thing called a jigger where to pour to, okay? So, hold the jigger, and you just hold it like this, okay? You can flip it, you can do that, but just hold it like that for now. Okay? So, next thing, put it in your, is this your dominant hand? You'll keep it in the left? Perfect. So what I want you to do is pour the chai tea, fantastic, and I'll open it for you. So pour this into this top side, but pour it halfway. So see this line right here? Yeah, just pour it there. Perfect. Okay? And then put it right in here. Give him a round of applause for his first ever jigger pour. That's big. That's big. My first jigger pour was a disaster, but look at us now, right? So, next up, you have brown butter flavored syrup, okay? Now, before you pour it, I want you to give it a smell. Tell me what you think.
It smells like honey.
Smells like honey, smells like...
It smells very honey.
Very honey-like consistency. Yeah, very much so, because you've got the brown butter, right, which is caramelized, right? It's almost like caramel, but it's butter as well. And then the regular sugar syrup. Very nice. Very nice. So, I want you to take this, pour it in here, and see that line you poured it in before? Just a little bit below, right here, okay? All right, now put it in. Bang. Round of applause for number 2. Okay, so next is water, okay? So we need 180 milliliters of water. So, this top side is 30 ml, and this is 60. So, Mr. Purchase Man, how many of these would you have to pour? 3. He's a good purchase controller, my friends. So, 3 of those of water. Go for it. All the way to the top. Yeah, all the way to the top. You've got bartender energy, though, Oh, bit higher. All the way to the top. Yeah, there we go. It's thirsty. Give it all the water. All the water. Bang. Number 1. All right, give me number 2. This is a highlight of my career, I have to say. Purchase man, teaching him the bartend. This is great. Number 3, fantastic. All right. So now, for one of the best parts, you need to add ice and you need to shake, okay? So I'm gonna do a little quick demonstration of how to shake. My shoulders feel a little better. But hold on to the mic. So, what I need you to do, take this top part, put it in like so, and I need you to slam it down, okay? And then when you pick it up, one hand here, just like that, okay? But you're gonna add ice first. I'm gonna get you to do the shaking. All right, so top part in, bottom part in, slam it down, slam it again, slam it again, slam it again. One more time. It insulted your mom. One more time. Hit him. Good. Okay. Now pick it up and shake. Round of applause. Harder. Shake. Harder. Yes. More. Give us more. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll help you get it off because I know for the first time, a lot of people have trouble. Oh, there we go. So, I need you to fill up this glass with ice. And then, you're gonna put this here. This is a strainer. Finger here, and hold like that. And then pour it into the glass. Yeah, there we go. Look at how beautiful that looks. You're a great bartender. I'm gonna open a bar. You're gonna be my head guy. What do you get with this iced tea? Look at this color. Okay. You see a little bit of froth on top. If you shook it harder, you'd see even more froth on top. And when someone looks at an iced tea like that, they want to drink it. Okay? They want to drink that. And for all of you tasting, how does it taste? Yeah, I see some nodding, right? Tastes full, like a real iced tea, true iced tea. And every one of your bartenders, when they have the recipe, can do this the exact same way every single time. So it doesn't matter if your head bartender is there or if your junior bartender is there, you're gonna get the same drink. And they're gonna look at that junior bartender and say, man, where'd you learn how to bartend? Can you teach me? Right? This is what you want. It shouldn't matter who's behind the bar. It should be consistent. Now, garnish it with that cinnamon stick. Man, your garnishing skills too. Yeah, there we go. Give him a round of applause. Enjoy your iced tea. And thank you so much.
Good.
My pleasure.
Now I'm also bartender, right?
Now you're a bartender. So if anyone wants an extra guy, here's your man. So did that look easy? For someone who's got no experience, they've now put together a nice tea. This is what we preach. This is what we do. In the world right now, there's a shortage of skilled staff. There's a shortage. It's not easy for us to find staff. So rather than trying to find the next greatest mixologist, why don't you put things on your menu that you can teach and upskill the junior bartenders with, right? Make your operation easy. Rather than focusing on going on job boards everywhere, just put easy and delicious things on your menu, and that's what we're giving you. That's all we're giving you. Okay? But with the iced teas, there's so many different variations. So you're gonna taste the peach tea, right? And this one is the popcorn iced tea, right? So I wanted to be able to show you a flavor profile that has a lot of creativity behind it. But I also want you to start thinking outside of the box a little bit with these flavors. Because yes, you smell popcorn, and it's the most authentic popcorn smell you have, right? But what else can you do with it? Whenever I see a new ingredient, I always ask myself, what else can I do? Because you never want it to just be the one thing, or else that's why things sit on your shelves. If you think of multiple usage, you're laughing, your costs are lower, and also you're having fun. We also have the fruit de monin, yuzu, right? So I talked about yuzu earlier, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the fruit, the fruit, sorry. I'm confusing my French and English, you know, franglais. But between the yuzu and iced tea, what the yuzu gives you is more body. Okay, so don't just think about adding a syrup for flavor. Also think about the fruit mix and other ingredients for body and texture. Okay? When you have, let's use pineapple juice for an example. When you shake pineapple juice, what happens? It gets foamy, right? Do you like that?
Yeah.
Right? Right? It's amazing. Right? And that's body, that's texture. That makes it interesting all of a sudden. So don't just think about the one simple application. Think about what you can do to make the drink more interesting. That's how you win in your career as a bartender. And then, of course, keeping it simple, but play with flavors that go together. So whenever I'm putting something together and I'm stuck on a combination, I will research what herbs go well with this fruit. What spices go well with this fruit, right? So research flavor pairings. Because once you know the natural flavor pairings of ingredients, this is where your mind sees what's possible. So if you ever want to mix 3 things together, maybe you want to mix rosemary, lime, and hibiscus. Not a bad combination. Not bad. I would drink that. But this is how you learn how to do that off the top of your head, right? So bartending, being a barista, being a beverage creator, really requires more research and more time on your side and more experimentation, okay? Next up, popcorn iced tea. So before we move on to the citrus products, because I have a lot to say about citrus, there's something I've seen that I'd like to discuss. But before we move on to there, what is your feedback? Does anyone want to talk about their feedback on the iced teas? I might look at my MONIN champion. What do you think? Not too much sweet. Do you think you'd be able to add all kinds of different sweeteners to the iced tea with this formula? Fantastic. What's one iced tea idea that you might have right now? A flavor idea. Which one are you having? The popcorn? Popcorn. Popcorn iced tea. Imagine, like you're watching a movie and drinking popcorn iced tea. Incredible. What a great day. Yes, sir.
How can you get popcorn in syrup? You're talking about the natural flavor.
How do you get popcorn in syrup?
Yeah, you cannot harvest popcorn.
This is very, very true. This is where it comes down to the saveur question, right? So when it comes down to saveur, this isn't necessarily fruit or citrus from nature. These are natural essences that we put together. And this is also the creativity of our R&D team, right? So our R&D team, they experiment with so many different flavors and ways to infuse, which, like I said, in the second session, you're gonna see some infusions of flavor that aren't easy at all. But with the popcorn, this is where it comes down to the saveur part and its natural essence of popcorn, rather than it just being based on food or culinary usage. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much? Cool. Anyone else? Oh, good, he's got a microphone. That works. Let me pick someone. What did you think, actually? You've been nodding quite a bit. I'd love to hear. What's your name?
Ezra.
Okay, and where do you work?
I work in Male restaurant.
In a restaurant. Okay. And what do you serve? What's your restaurant theme?
It's Manhattan Fish Market.
Okay.
It's cozy.
I actually stopped by there the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, cool spot. So, with the iced tea, based on your menu, what ideas would you have? Like, what would you want to incorporate with the iced tea?
Well, I'm seeing a trend in mojito in the Maldives. So I think mixing it with different flavors that you currently have already, like strawberry, blueberry, and this yuzu.
Amazing. Yeah, mojito is really trending here for sure. We actually do have a solution for mojito, which we'll talk about in the future. But doing fresh fruit mojitos, I think being on an island, it's very important that you emphasize freshness as much as possible, but in a creative way. Maybe there's a mojito with popcorn as well, right? Maybe there's different ways. Let's see who else would like to speak. How about you, sir? Yes, this gentleman with the very, very well-groomed beard. Where are you from?
I'm from Blue Jahelani.
Okay. Sounds good.
Actually, this chai tea, it's more similar to like homemade tea.
Like homemade tea.
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
more similar, and we can inspire, like we can say, it's like when you take tea from random machine, it's more different. But this is really like, I feel like homemade tea, and more similar to masala tea as well.
That's
It's
fantastic.
really good.
Glad you enjoy. We also have to remember we're experts when it comes down to these drinks, right? And if we feel like it's homemade, right, what will the guests feel? We always have to think about the guest's perspective, right? Because that's who we're making these drinks for. And if you're saying it's homemade, that guest is gonna think you went back there with an apron and you're using your grandmother's chai recipe, right? And that's what you want to be able to do. So I'm so glad you said that. Plus, good grooming, man. Who's your barber? Fantastic. So let's talk about citrus products. I'll tell you a little story. So, on the island, I had some fantastic drinks that I tried. I really, really think that there's a lot of talent on this island that I would love to help with. But there was one ingredient that I had some questions about. Citric powder. And it's not to say the drinks were bad with citric powder, but it's also to say that I think the drinks can always improve, because every form of natural citrus or citric powder has its limits. And I'll explain. Citrus is an ingredient you should never challenge. We challenge citrus in so many ways. We talk about fresh citrus, right? And when it comes down to fresh citrus, it's amazing. Fresh is best, but only for a limited time. Why is that? Oxidation. Oxidation. You can juice lemons, so you are spending an hour juicing lemons in a bottle, right? And as soon as you juice it, ooh, it's good lemon juice, best lemonade. But if you leave that bottle in the sun for 4 hours, that's going to be one sour lemonade. Very difficult to balance. So people might look at it and say, okay, let's use citric powder. But again, we challenge citric powder because maybe someone puts a little bit too much in the formulation. Maybe someone puts a little too little, right? But even that over time will get more sour. Okay? So we challenge the notion of consistency with citrus all the time. But as MONIN, we have been finding solutions for this for decades. Decades. And we have so many products in our citrus range that will make your operation so easy and your cocktails and beverages way more consistent. Okay? First, I'll talk about Glasgow lemon. It's something you have here, and it's something that is a very simple solution. Yes, it does qualify as a syrup, but it's a syrup with extremely natural flavor that when diluted with water in a 1:5 ratio, you're gonna have a perfect lemonade base. Perfect. And you can challenge me on that as much as you can, and that's one challenge on citrus that you won't win. You will not win. So, you've got a high concentration, authentic natural taste. We use pure cane sugar with the natural Glasgow lemon. We use Sicilian lemons. And then you have the primary shelf life. When you get fresh lemon juice, how long does fresh lemon juice last? 1 day. 3 days maximum, right? But you don't want to give anyone that lemon juice of 3 days. And let's talk about costing. We're talking about costing now? What do you do with that lemon juice after 3 days? Waste, right? You live on an island. Waste should be a very primary concern. You should not be thinking about throwing cost and natural ingredients away, right? So you need to find solutions. And it's not to say to stop juicing fresh lemons. I'm not saying that at all. But if you have a big operation, if you have people coming in by boat, ready to go, ready to go, and I've seen it, people dancing to like NSYNC, you know, right? You need to have a solution for that as well. You need to have consistency for them, for your operation. We have so many different variations of citrus products that serve many solutions. So we have our lime juice cordial, right? This is perfect if you have cocktails in your restaurant and bars. So you want to make a gimlet, you want to make some of these classics. They all call for cordials of some sort. We also have sweet and sour mix. We've got lemonade mix. We have rancho lemonade, rancho lime, okay? These are designed to give you a way to replace juicing lemons and limes all the time, okay? So we have solutions. So it's really, really worth considering these solutions for your operation and making your life easy. You also have dispense jars, right? So if we're thinking about cost, and you're doing a 1-to-5 ratio, the moment you add a modifier like a syrup and you stretch it with water, you can play with your cost. Now the liquid that you're dispensing out becomes cheaper. The more water you add, the cheaper it becomes. So if you're thinking of it like a cost controller, like my newly crowned bartender of the year, these are ways you need to think of it. As beverage creators, we should be thinking about the business side as much as we can. Think about creativity, think about efficiency, sustainability, but the business side. What makes sense for your efficiency as an operation? I'm going to call my man back to the stage, but I'll talk about some of these recipes. So when you have a concentrate, as you saw with the iced tea, you can combine it in a smart ratio, okay? So when I'm building cocktails, I'm always thinking of ratios. Whatever I want to be dominant has a higher ratio. But you never want the sweet or the syrup side to exceed 25 or 30 ml. You want to try and keep that 1-to-5 ratio, okay? If you want a little less sweet, like I have here, about 180 ml, 25 ml of modifier, right? So it's gonna have a nice pungency, nice fruitiness, nice citrus balance, but also easy and refreshing to drink. So banana, I love bananas. My name is in it, okay? So good, so nutritious, rich in potassium, okay? So that was the first one. That's the first lemonade that we're putting in there. Our friend Batuhan, he's obsessed with, he's the previous beverage guy, he's obsessed with bananas as well. So this is in his honor. This is in his honor. I might as well have called it the Batuhan lemonade. The Batu lemonade. So you can mix water, but also we talked about texture, right? So soda. Think about soda, think about ginger ale, think about mixing it up. All of these are just templates. I can get a lot crazier with the combinations, but that's not the point. The point is to give you a template you can build on, right? I see a lot of nodding heads, so I know who the mixologists are, you know? I see you, right? So, template for your customers. We also have hibiscus. This never fails, okay? Hibiscus never fails. It gives you this beautiful color, And when you combine it with lemon, depending on your ratios, it can be pink, it can be deep purple, it can be red like it is in the picture, and then you garnish that with a flower, give that to a couple on their honeymoon, and they're laughing, they're frolicking. Okay? You want the frolic. This is what you want. Okay? Rose lemonade. Right? So now we've got an extra floral, extra easy lemonade with nice subtle flavor of the sirop de MONIN, rose. Right? Look how simple that is. 3 ingredients. My friend Jared Brown, he's a famous gin guy. Okay? So Jared wrote a book called The Uncompromising Cocktail Book. And his philosophy is that drinks don't need to be complicated when you have uncompromising ingredients. When the ingredients are good, you can make the easiest recipe and everyone's going to remember it. Right? That's why I kept this simple. Because you add Lasco lemon or any of the other citrus products if they land, right? Rose and water. Your choice. Right? Don't complicate your operation. Just use great ingredients and great syrups. Yeah? Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. 1 second. So, let's talk le fruit de MONIN. Actually, I think you guys to still stay active. We'll take a little 2-minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the fruit de MONIN and the smoothie shakes. Cool? So we'll take a little 2-minute break. There's still some food. Go have a cigarette, use the washroom, and come back and we'll continue.
लेफ्ट साइड में जा आगे आने को लेफ्ट साइड
Ladies and gentlemen, for your kind information, our lunch will be served at Pihamana restaurant at 12:30 p.m. And still we have tea, coffee, and some snacks for you here at the venue hall. So we'll see you shortly with the next part of Mr. Nana's presentation. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome again Mr. Nana. Please give a round of applause to Mr. Nana, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much. Woo!
Welcome back, everyone. Hope those cigarettes were plentiful. So anyways, we're gonna go through the last two categories, and then afterwards, we're gonna have a bit of a showcase. A little bit of a showcase. No, I will not flare. Someone asked me if I flare, but I'm not a flare guy. I just put the drinks in the glass and mix. That's what I do. So, let's talk about two amazing categories that will give you even more options. So we've gone over our syrup, right? We've gone over our concentrates. So those you've seen and tasted some different ways to incorporate drinks. Now with these two, I kept talking about body, right? Le fruit de MONIN will give you natural fruit flavor with body. And then the last category, we're going to talk about the frappe de MONIN. And so many different ways you can incorporate extra body, extra texture, and flavor. So I talked about the syrup universe before. Look at this universe. And you saw that video with the fruit farm that we have partnered with, that we purchased. So this universe is only going to get bigger. Okay? It's only going to get bigger. So one thing I really want us to do is talk about the core differences between what we do with our fruit mix and what some of you may know as purees. So I think it's a very important distinction to make. We're providing solutions with flavor and naturality. Purees do the same thing, except we have an edge. Okay? So, why use le fruit? Okay? True taste. We have a minimum of 50% fruit content. Okay? Now, when it comes down to marketing, when it comes down to all kinds of different claims that other producers make, you might hear another producer say, well, they have 50%. We have 200% fruit. 200. How do you get 200% fruit? How do you get 200% of anything? Except for profits. Hopefully. One day. You get 200% fruit by concentrating the fruit and removing the water from the fruit. So it's not 200% fruit, it's 5 times concentrated. Meaning, when you reduce the water and the hydration in the fruit, it becomes 40% fruit. And then they concentrate it. So when you hear some of these claims, you have to be very careful to not do your research. And it's my job to do research. So that's why I'm here to tell you. But with us, 50% fruit for a reason. for a reason. So basically, we have 22 flavors available. You look at the bottle, hygienic grip, right? Shelf stable for 24 months, 1 month afterwards. And it's only 1 month because, well, it's a very natural product, right? So use your fruit mix once you open it. Like I said, don't test the secondary shelf life. Use it, okay? Tons of applications and cost efficient. There's no need for you to add extra sugar when you use fruit mix because you have the natural fruit flavor and you already have the sugar inside, okay? So basically it's 50% of sugar and 50% of fruit. Why do we do that? For preservation reasons. When you have your puree, they blend the fruit together. As soon as you open that, how long is that gonna last? Maybe 3 days. If you don't put that in the freezer, which in some restaurants, that's a challenge, especially when you're fighting with the kitchen, you know, like, we want this shelf, and the chef's like, I need that shelf for this 1 stick of butter. You cannot put anything there, right? These things happen. So we want to be able to keep this on your shelf at the bar in ambient temperature. And like I said before, don't let it sit under a direct light heater and heat up and then cause oxidation and spoilage. If you put it at a regular temperature, outside in your bar, you're more than fine, okay? Coulis, 80% fruit, right? These are some of the specs with some of our different competitors, right? But something very crucial for you to know, very, very crucial. We started the fruit mix category. It was MONIN. They followed us. And it's something that I love highlighting because some people don't realize that we start these trends. And then once we're like rolling and moving with it, all of a sudden, they come up with their version. But whenever they come up with their version, they're always playing catch up. Always. We are market leaders for a reason. It's not something we're mad about. Like, great, you know, let's make the world a better place with flavor. You know, it's fine. But our R&D team is that strong. We're that far ahead of our competitors. So keep this in mind when you're choosing which brands to put on your shelves, right? Let's keep that in mind. So, that's the little thing I talked about with the 5 times concentration. Please do be careful when you hear some of this stuff. But this is a little snapshot of how it's made, right? I love showing snapshots. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but this is something that always shows that we are transparent. We're transparent about the process, right? And because we have partners such as the fruit farm, we have to honor their ingredients as well, right? So, because when you have a bunch of partners that you talk about, that you showcase, you have to honor what they do, what they've done for generations, and that's why they choose MONIN to work with, right? They don't just choose any other company, because there's other competitors, but they choose us for a reason. Oh, why isn't this working? Next is Le Frappé de MONIN. So, I think a lot of you would love to be able to produce smoothies for your customers, but maybe there's some operational challenges. Maybe there are a few things like scoops of ice cream, storage space for this at the bar that you can't really justify. That's why we've created this answer. If you want to be able to make iced coffees, we've got you. If you want to be able to create some nice bodied smoothies, we've got you there too. But basically, you have vanilla, chocolate, you've also got non-dairy, yogurt, and what's that over there? Jeez. Anyways, my brain, I had a little fart. But these are the different applications you can make when it comes down to our coffee flavors. And of course, it's just about texture, right? So now what I'm looking at, the reason why I paired these 2 categories together is because I want to show you how simple it would be to create a smoothie. But aside from that, I didn't show you how simple it is to create the lemonade. So, with that said, I need 3 people. You, beside the plant with the glasses. Yes, you. Come on down. Give them a round of applause. Come on up. Thank you for joining me today. What's your name?
Prem.
Prem? Prem, very nice to meet you. And where do you work?
Anantara.
Anantara. Sounds good. I'm going to get my marketing manager, Angelo, to pick one more. Blue shirt, come on down. Come on up. Round of applause. Thank you for joining me. What's your name?
My name is Anish.
Anish. Very nice to meet you. I hear you make some good drinks. I hear you do well. So, last but not least, ooh, let's get another blue shirt up here. Come on up. All right. Come on up to the stage. Now, tell everyone your name.
My name is Saurav. I'm from India and Coco Collection.
Very excited today. Amazing. So, I've got 3 amazing drink makers here. You guys are ready for action? Yeah. All right. So, what I would love you guys to show is how simple and easy 3 different recipes can be. So, come with me. So, I've got 3 recipes. The first recipe, which way am I going? Which way am I going? Is this mango magic? Okay? So I'm gonna need one of you. I think I'll choose you. You look like a mango man. Mango man, all right. So with the mango magic, I would love you to make this mango magic in this blender, okay? So you're gonna make it in the blender and you're gonna follow this recipe, okay? So you've got 10 ml of the sirop de MONIN, Glasgow lemon. You've also got the mango fruit mix and the non-dairy frappe. Ta-da! There we go. So here's the powder. Comes in this bag. So you've got your ingredients ready. And for you, since we met yesterday, what are we gonna get you to make? Where are we? Aha! Hibiscus lemonade. So you're gonna make the hibiscus lemonade. We're gonna get you some hibiscus here. You'll have to share that Glasgow lemon. And get your soda water ready. We also just make sure they have the right glassware, perfect. And last but not least, I'm gonna give you the lemonade with my name on it, the banana lemonade. All right. So, for the lemonades, easy ratio. I want you both to have 15 ml of Glasgow and then 10 ml of your modifier, okay? And then ice, shake, strain, top it with soda water. Okay? You guys got that? 15 ml Glasgow, 10 of the modifier, topped with soda. Okay? And then, do you have the recipe ready? Bang. These guys are good. These guys are good. I just have to tell them one time? Are you joking? It never happens. Okay. All right. So, we're going to count them down 10 seconds, and then you begin. Oh, 1 second. What's that? Oh, all together. You're going all together. We're going to watch this showcase. These are 3 bartenders. It's a busy Friday night. We want to see you guys move and groove and shake. So the moment you three tell me you're all ready, yeah? We got one that's ready. And we'll get that signal. But while they're getting ready, guys, honestly, I want to thank you guys for your time today. It's been a real pleasure, and I like meeting new people. So after this is done, I do hope I get to have some conversations with you, because at some point I'm gonna need a vacation, and I'll need to come see you guys at your resorts. Okay? Yeah, I'll have to come down, see what you offer. Send me some brochures. My lady back home, she's telling me it's time. So. So we'll take care of that after, okay? All right. And so far, are there any questions? You guys seem to, maybe I was clear on everything, but if there's any questions, if there's anything for your own operation, do let me know. Or maybe we can talk about this afterwards. That's totally cool as well. How are you guys coming along? Yeah, don't start yet, not yet. All right, so let's count them down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go! All right, cheer them on, guys. Give them some encouragement. It's not easy to come up on stage. Not easy to come up and show the world what you've got as bartenders. I wish I had some music. I will not sing. I'm not going to do that to you guys. I won't do that. I charge for that, actually. I charge. I'm going to be performing at one of your resorts, maybe. One of your resorts. We can talk about a deal. I'll bartend. I'll perform that night as well, and we can have a very good time. Okay, very good time. Nice try. No, you haven't heard me sing yet, though. I'm like Teddy Pendergrass. It's. Yeah, there we go. So, as you can see, they've never made these ingredients before. And hopefully, the hope is that these taste the way that they're supposed to. The hope is. Ooh, look at that beautiful color of the hibiscus. Look at that slice of the cocktail. An easy topper. Easy topper. So, with the hibiscus lemonade, as you can see, there's some nice separation, but you want to make sure all the ingredients are incorporated. So you want to lift like we talked about yesterday. Absolutely. I was at the resort yesterday and we featured an ingredient called Paragon, which we're going to talk about later on. All finished. Bang. Number 2. And what are you garnishing it with? The moon shines bright over yonder, and it makes me feel so fine. I'm so thankful, baby, that Jah has made me mine. I'm so thankful that Jah has made me mine. Love is fine in our hearts today. Love is I said the all together.
In our hearts today, love is found its way. In our hearts today, in our hearts oh lady, you bring me up,
Ting kalau pom-pom, lupa soal kami kan, belum dipencari. No? Kamu sama thing Nancy can't understand. For one thing Nancy can't understand. What make them a talk about me ambition? So what make them a talk about me ambition? Come and say some of them a ask me where me get it from. So some of them a ask me where me get it from. I told them no, it's from creation. I told them no, it's from creation. Bam bam hey, what a bam bam, bam bam nila, bam bam, bam bam nila, bam bam hey, what a bam bam, what a bam bam. This woman never trouble no one. I'm a lady, I'm not a man. MC is my ambition. I come free nice of Jamaican, so bam bam. Bam bam, bam bam nila, bam bam, bam bam nila, bam bam. Hey, I'm so what bam bam. Tell me so what bam bam. Hey, tell them. Me born in a Princeton 6. I not see right. The princess lyrics when you hear them, they sound like Christy Biscuit. You come in at the place and me say well, sneaky bam bam. Hey. Tawata bam bam, bam bam dila, bam bam, bam bam dila, bam bam eh. Tawata bam bam eh. Tawata bam bam. That's how one them a see me walk around shouting from. I told them follow me your business woman. Sister man say she a 1 in a 3 million. Sister man say she a 1 in a 3 million. So bam bam. Say what bam bam, bam bam dila, bam bam, bam bam dila, bam bam eh. Say go sister Nancy make you go. I tell you say fi go sister Nancy make you go. I know it from me head straight down to my toe. I teach her go sister Nancy and me go. And some of them a ask her sister Nancy make you bad so. Long down the list sister Nancy make you bad so. Hey bam bam. What a bam bam, he bam bam dilla, bam bam, he bam bam dilla, bam bam. What a bam bam, hey, tell me say what a bam bam. This woman, I never trouble no one. I'm a lady, I'm not a man. MC is my ambition. I can't be nice up Jamaican, so bam bam. Say what a bam bam, bam bam dilla, bam bam, bam bam dilla, bam bam.
Janana, your playlist is really good.
Thank you very much. See, not only do I perform at resorts, I'll also DJ.
Oh, nice.
I'll come with Miroslav, he's a DJ.
Oh, Mr. Miroslav, nice.
Yeah. Solutions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting the second session shortly. Hope everyone had a great lunch.
out of my mouth and out of my nose. I blow it in the air and make the smoke explode. In and with my lung, where the sense it come from. I put it in a cup of stuff on the mini pan. Take the seed and I make the shine. I put it in the barrel and I know it now spoil. And I must maintain me own, I must maintain. And I must maintain me own, damn me. And I must maintain me own, I must maintain. And I must maintain my own, damn me. Because it's way in my brain, no cocaine. I don't wanna go insane. Way in my brain, no cocaine. I don't wanna go insane. Oh no, it's way in my brain. It's way in my brain. It's way in my brain. I say me smoke it and me pass it through the window. I me give it to me next door neighbor. Me say me smoke it and me pass it through the window. And me give it to my next door neighbor. Because in my eyes said it's red like blood. And I've been moving around like a human blood. Smoke out of my mouth and out of my nose. Smoke it in the ear cause it must explode. And I must maintain me own, I must maintain. And I must maintain me own, damn it. And I must maintain me own, I must maintain. And I must maintain me own, damn it. Way in my brain, it's way in my brain. It's way in my brain, it's way in my brain. I see me smoke it and me pass it through the window. And me give it to me next door neighbor. Me say me smoke it and me pass it through the window. And me give it to my next door neighbor. Because he must belong and where the sense it come from. Me put it in a cup of stuff on the mini pan. Take the seed and me make the ash shine. Me put it in the barrel cause me know it now spoil. And I must maintain me own, I must maintain. And I must maintain me own, damn it. And I must maintain me own. Marcus Cameron's come to pass. Marcus Cameron's come to pass. Can't get no food to eat. Can't get no money to spend. Can't get no food to eat. Can't get no money to spend. Mama, you don't wanna let me do what I did for you. And you, I know. Come, walk on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, everyone. After that delicious lunch, it's time to unveil something just as delightful. But before that, after this launch of the new product of MONIN, we're gonna have a crafted cocktail demonstration with this new product. And after that, around 3:30, we'll be wrapping up the event. But you get some time to interact with our dear MONIN team, do some videos, social media content as well. Our first departure boat will be ready by 3:45 p.m. So just for your information, sharing it. All right. So now we're going to present something very delightful, presenting Paragon Cordials, MONIN's newest creation, a premium line of botanical cordials made for adventurous mixologists and refined palates. To lead us through this launch, we once again invite Mr. Nana to showcase the story, inspiration, and essence of Paragon. Let's all give a round of applause to Mr. Nana, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello again. Hello again. I changed outfits. New day, afternoon outfits. Afternoon outfit. So, Paragon. As someone who has been very involved in the cocktail world, when I tried Paragon, it was mind-blowing. And it wasn't mind-blowing for the reasons you might think, right? Of course, I'm going to talk about the production, but it was mind-blowing because a little bit of Paragon goes a long way. And what the R&D team did to create that tiny little difference in measurement that you need to make a massive impact is nothing short of amazing. Right? So myself, you guys know, as I explained earlier, cocktail world. So I spent a lot of time researching, learning, training myself, speaking to different people in the industry and learning from them. I spent a lot of time, and I still do, right? So I'm a nerd about this. This is what I do. This is who I am. So when I see a product that confuses me at the start, I get excited, right? Because I get excited at the prospect of making it simple and breaking it down, and I'm proud to say that I have, right? As I mentioned earlier, me and Varun, we were traveling around to different resorts, and we had bar takeovers with Paragon. And I don't know, you're pretty excited. What do you think of Paragon? Big smile on his face. Consumers at the resorts, every drink they tried, they were blown away. And I didn't even go into the full explanation like I'm going to go today. I just told them a little tiny bit about what goes into it. They got it right away, and they had multiple rounds. So today, we're going to talk about our 2 chapters of Paragon. Okay? The first chapter with Paragon deals with pepper. Right? I love making pepper syrups. I had a competition a few years ago, and by a few years ago, it's approaching 10. It is what it is. Time flies. But that drink, people still talk about it. It's remembered. But if I had Paragon, I may have destroyed the competition, right? And then the second one deals with the mystic, and I'll explain what that means. When it comes down to the mystic, there's so many different meanings you can pull. And the journey of our civilization, so not just talking about country to country, I'm talking about mankind, right? What we have done to get to where we are, a lot of it can be drawn from the mystic. So it tells a story. Paragon tells a story that you wouldn't be able to tell it any other way. And it also draws on so many things with the environment as well. But I'm not going to drone on too much. Let's get started. So, Victor Hugo, this quote. It's a sad thing to think that nature is speaking and humankind isn't listening. What does he mean by this? Remember earlier I was talking about how globalization is happening, right? So we're all buying avocados, limes, lemons, banana. But there's still so much the world produces that we're missing. So much, right? And so, as Monin, 160 plus flavors, all these different applications. But a lot of them are the standard things you would need and expect for a bar to be able to produce, and stuff a lot of bartenders are trying to put together, okay? But the R&D team, as amazing as they do with the syrups, they have an even higher capability, an even higher ability to infuse flavor. And so they challenged themselves and said, why don't we put together a product that bars and sophisticated places around the world would really rally behind. So they partnered with some of the top bartenders in the world, and they went on a journey. So in a few words, Paragon is an adventure. It's a human adventure. It's the story of what ingredients you can find out in the world and our ability to maximize the potential of these ingredients. Yeah? So we wanted to not only create our traditional line of vanilla, strawberry, hazelnut, passion fruit, you name it. We wanted to look for the most rare botanicals to extract flavor from and to be able to use them in beverage applications. So we've been exploring remote locations. You saw with the vanilla plantation, we've partnered with a small village in Madagascar. With Paragon, we've partnered with 6 different small villages that produce really beautiful, rare botanicals that are steeped in history. Before we jump in, you have to understand, Paragon is a cordial. Okay? So a cordial is not exactly the same as your traditional syrup. What separates a cordial from a traditional syrup is its exploration with acidity. Okay? We all know how important acidity is. I spent time in the last presentation talking about acids and lemons and being able to infuse that and how important that is. But with acidity, if you use it correctly, you can manipulate flavor. You can manipulate the experience of flavor. Okay? And that's what we've done with Paragon, using all kinds of knowledge that this R&D team has and drawing on all kinds of different sources that are just sitting here waiting for us to explore. So we play with bricks. Bricks is a measurement of the sweetness of a product, right? And then we play with acidity. And using those 2 combinations with the rare botanical will give you something nobody else will be able to reproduce. No one. Paragon stands alone. So it's far more acidic, less sweet, but when you add a little bit to your cocktail, it gives it a different balance. So I mentioned with Varun, we went and did a few bar takeovers. I don't always produce something completely unique, but I decided this time, let me combine flavors no one would really think about. I took classic cocktail templates, okay? And I just added a little bit of Paragon and then some of our classic flavors. Just those simple twists took these classics and made them exceptional. Okay? I don't always sit up here and say, oh, my cocktail's the best. Like, yeah, you know who I am. No, that's not my style. But seeing the reaction of the guests really, really, really made me happy. Not just because I put together some good ingredients, but because they see a product that they can stand behind. Every single one said, so can I buy this in the shop somewhere? Where can I bring this to my house, you know? Sorry, you gotta go see one of these professionals. They'll take care of it for you. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that the people handling Paragon are the ones who can truly understand its usage. And today is about showing you the best way for you to use Paragon and make sure your guests walk away seeing you for the best bartenders you are. Okay? So let's talk about pepper. But before I get into the next slide, and you can't say anything because you heard this answer yesterday, show of hands, like just raise your hand. How many different varieties of pepper are there in the world? Just throw a number. And you don't have to be right. I'm not gonna embarrass you and say, you're wrong! Ha ha ha! Social media! How many do you think, Aresta? Yeah, so those are some. But yeah, what number? How many? More than 10? Okay. What do you think, Adam?
I said 2,000, but actually it's more. Just coming from the great perspective.
2,000, okay. So 10, 2,000. Anyone else? Any other numbers? What do you think?
3,600.
Strange. Where did you hear that one? So yes, there are 3,600 varieties of pepper. Okay? So pepper, also we're talking about pepper berries included in that as well, right? So not every pepper is meant to be spicy, right? Even when you look at green pepper, red pepper, the capsicum, it's not that spicy, you know? It's not like Indian spicy, you know? Right? But there's different levels of spice, different levels of flavor, some sweeter than others, but you have 3,600 different varieties to play with. So when these guys in the R&D team heard that number, they were like, ooh, let's play. Let's see which ones we can put together to make some interesting cordials, right? Because now it's not just strawberry. So 3,600 different species and plants belong to this family. They're either plants or shrubs. And we evaluated more than 100 different peppers, okay? So they didn't necessarily sit there and go eat 3,600 different kinds, you know, it wasn't that, but 100 is still a lot, right? And from what I know about the R&D team now, especially when it comes down to the evaluation, it's not just, do you like it? Yes? No. No, there's a lot of different factors they're evaluating on. So to bring it down to 100, fantastic. They partnered with a very famous bartender. His name is Alex Cretena. And he didn't create Paragon, but he was instrumental in helping the team figure out the mind of a bartender that would be in one of these top venues. Okay? So he helped select and shortlist to 5. The R&D team chose 3. And that's what we're going to talk about with the Pepper Collection today. So I mentioned the acid exploration, okay? So in wine, some of you are somms here, I'm sure, and when you're talking about, let's even just reference the WSET standard tasting evaluation, right? The finish is very important. That will also help determine whether a wine is expressive, super high quality, right? But how do you achieve that finish? Acidity can play a very big role in that. That's what the finish is, when you drink something or eat something and you can still feel the flavors in your mouth over a certain period of time, okay? So we're talking about seconds, right? We're not talking about 45 minutes. Yeah, you might still have the taste of something in your mouth 45 minutes later, you might. But when we're talking about the initial sip to when that flavor leaves your profile, most times you're getting 3 seconds, 4 seconds. That's like decent actually. Because count, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4. That's a good job. You made a good cocktail. But you can make it last even longer. Okay? And that's what we've done. So the way that we played with it, we played with the pH. Okay? So if you understand pH, potential hydrogen, water's at a 7. Okay? So that's neutral. And then the lower you go, the more acidic it is. The higher you go, it's not so acidic. Okay? Everyone's following me so far? Yeah? Okay, cool. I see nodding. Just trying to make sure I don't go too nerdy. So, the other thing we played with is bricks. Because when you have sweetness, what does that do with your overall flavor profile? You feel the flavor. It's a mouth feel. So when you drink something sweet, it feels like something heavy in your mouth, right? So if you have the acidity with the sweetness of that body, that's going to give you a long mouthfeel. And one thing that does that very well is honey. Think about when you eat honey, right? It's not quite the same sweetness as just pure sugar, right? And we were able to find a very specific honey that helped us understand this. The other thing is how we infuse flavor, right? So I'm not going to go too deep into a distillation lesson, but think of the perfume industry. When you talk about perfume, it's a lot like mixology. They're taking different essential oils, balancing them together, mixing them all together, but then making sure that each note can come out at different moments. And also, perfume gets affected by your individual pH. Okay? So one perfume is not going to smell exactly the same on every single person. It'll be similar, same but different. Let's say that much. Okay? So we use perfume technology to infuse flavor because it is the most advanced and best way to extract flavors from tough ingredients that you typically wouldn't find, like pepper. And the first is Timur berry. Who has heard of Timur berry before? All right, I see some hands raised high with pride. From Nepal? No, India and Nepal. So very much part of the lexicon, part of the cuisine. And basically, it's like a Szechuan pepper. You mentioned Szechuan earlier, right? And it gives you some fresh and citrus notes. So if we're looking for acidity, the Timur berry is something that is going to give us some of these notes right away. And that's why we chose that first. So when you look at Paragon Timur berry, everyone has their little sample. Long and short, you've got the origin from Nepal, and you're going to get a nice grapefruit, herbal, and woody texture with it. So when you're putting this together in drinks, now you've got specific spirits it's going to pair well with. You've got a specific flavor profile you can influence, and a style of cocktail. And that's what I'm going to put together for you first and foremost. This is called the Cherry Blossom. So, and you can write these recipes down if you want. Any recipes from today, I'm not copywriting them. You know, you can have them, it's totally fine. But basic gist, the Timur berry cordial, and I combine it with cherry blossom syrup from our traditional range. And notice the amount I put in. Just notice that amount. So when we're talking about acidity, we're talking about deep flavors, rare botanical flavors, you have to treat that accordingly. So the easiest modification that we did was to add 5 milliliters. Because a little bit goes a long way. The acidity is going to carry a long way. And we'll see this in the next chapter when I get into the Mystic range. But we're looking at a mouthfeel and a finish of 7 seconds. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. That's a long experience with the flavor. So even adding 5 ml, you know, you can treat it like salt and pepper on a dish. When you add too much salt to a dish, you can't go back. But if you add just the right amount, all of a sudden, a flavor combination comes together in this beautiful harmony. That's what Paragon can create. So, this is a sparkling drink. A bit of a low ABV twist on a French 75 because Paragon really works well in low alcohol beverages. Okay? Paragon does have some traces of alcohol, but it's not because we're adding alcohol in. And traditional cordials, some of them are made with alcohol. So they're made with alcohol, acidity, and sweetness. But the trace you'll find in any of the Paragon range ranges from 0.9 to 1.2%. Okay? Barely detectable, and you would have to have a lot of Paragon for me to take your keys. Okay, let's say that much. You have to have a lot of Paragon. You won't be able to have enough. So, ingredients, 5 ml of Timor berry cordial. Then you have cherry blossom, 10 ml. With all these cocktails, I kept the ratio at 15 milliliters. Okay? You don't need to go any higher than that because the Paragon is going to enhance the flavor of the cherry blossom. Plain and simple. Then sweet vermouth. So I added a little bit of bitterness to it. So now you've got sweet, you've got acid, you've got bitter. And then after that, fresh lemon juice. Added a bit of freshness. Right? Just a little bit of extra freshness. Then you top that off with sparkling wine. So I stayed true to the French 75 profile, but I've added layers of flavor now. Floral, red pepper Timor with citrus and grapefruit, woody herbal notes, sweet vermouth to complement those woody notes, and then the sparkling to give it some bubbles. Okay? So we're gonna pour some samples for you to try. It's very fast. Go ahead.
One question. So I'm wondering why we are using the supercritical extraction in Paragon products. What is the reason of using that methodology?
Very, very good question. So we infuse flavors in 3 different ways, depending on which chapter you're talking about. Now, supercritical CO2 deals with condensing carbon dioxide gas into a liquid after it is extracted flavor from some of these raw materials. So when I say a raw material, I'm talking about fruit, I'm talking about something edible, right? So in this case, the pepper. And if you condense the pepper or infuse it in any other way, you won't really get as intense a flavor. So to get the full flavor package of the pepper, we had to use 3 different ways. Traditional distillation and supercritical CO2 is another, and then vapor infusion is another. So you've got 3 ways of infusing flavor. The way supercritical works, you guys know about fog, right? Think about London, think about Scotland, that little visual of the foggy air. That density of the gas is in between water and gas. It is right at the critical state where it could change to either one. It can go either way depending on the temperature, okay? So when gas, like fog, is just in the air and you have raw materials and you have it in a very controlled environment, so if you put the peppers in this controlled environment, a closed off space, and that supercritical fog just cascades over the pepper. When you take that fog and condense it to liquid, it's going to absorb all the flavors of the pepper. Okay? So there's another advanced way of distilling alcohol, right? There's another advanced way of doing it. That's called a vapor infusion. Similar, but the reason why we use vapor infusion and supercritical is because if you were to cook these ingredients or raise the temperature to infuse, you would change the flavor profile. But this allows you to infuse flavor and absorb the flavor into liquid without changing the characteristics of the pepper. So you have the full rational flavor profile without changing anything. Very welcome. So it's a very complex science. Very, very complex, right? And I'm only saying it to you because you're people that would understand, right? But for your guests, the guest experience, these are all things that you eventually lead them into. You don't have to meet them and say, oh, hi, nice, where are you coming from? Australia, perfect. Try Paragon, it's got supercritical CO2. If you take the gas and you put it over a raw material, no. You start by saying, this cordial is going to make any cocktail I make better. That's it. And then when they taste it, man, he was right. He was right, man. Yeah, he was right. This cocktail's way better. And now you're gonna see it with the cherry blossom. So this is something that would be good for Valentine's Day. This would be good for couples. If there's a wedding signature drink, very, very simple. The good thing about Paragon is if you are doing pre-batching in your restaurants and bars, easy to pre-batch. But you just make sure you dilute properly and you keep the level low. Okay? So while you're getting your drinks, let's talk about roux berry. Okay? And I'm gonna slow the pace down a little bit so the drinks can catch up. But roux berry. Now we're hitting Ethiopia. Okay? And Ethiopia has such a rich history when it comes to beverages because Ethiopia is the birthplace of coffee. Okay? Birthplace of coffee. So just imagine how potent that land is. So much richness, so much diversity. And this roux berry is used in a lot of their traditional cooking, including a type of spice called bere bere. Okay? So, it's a renowned Ethiopian blend of spices, and we've taken just that one aspect of the traditional spice, and we've turned that into a cordial. Okay? So this one's got a different flavor profile. Passion, jasmine, and hay. But when you look at the ingredients, you're gonna see sugar, water, gluconic acid, citric acid, roux berry flavor, and other natural flavors. This is preservative-free, and its shelf life is 18 months. It is a bit of a different product than our traditional. But when I talk about the 7-second finish, where it comes from is the gluconic acid. Okay? So in the next Paragon that we taste, the white penja, I'll talk a little bit more about it, but the gluconic acid is what ends up giving you that long-lasting finish. There's a chart with the next series, the next chapter, that shows you the length of time that citric acid leaves an impression, that malic acid leaves an impression, and then gluconic acid leaves an impression. And this gluconic acid is the key to making Paragon as unique as it is. But for those who are tasting the previous cocktail, what are your thoughts? Does everyone have one yet? Yeah? And what do you think? How about your friend? Yeah, my bartender friend. What are your thoughts? And first of all, did you try the Paragon on its own beforehand? You tried it with the... So what did you think about the flavor profile of the Paragon? What did you pick up?
It's like acid, right?
Well, I'm gonna come over there with my microphone.
Little bit spicy and acid. That's one side get, that one like soda. Like a soda, getting the...
Cool. And That's just a little tiny modification. So we just added a tiny bit of Paragon with that soda, and you got the spice notes and the acidity. How about yourself?
So I come from Nepal, so I'm more into this timber bay. So for me, I think the thing it lacks is the spiciness that it has. That's the one I think that lacks. Other than that, it's very good.
But keep in mind, so when it comes to soda, soda does tend to water things down a little bit. So the Timor berry will come out in terms of spiciness depending on the modifier. But in terms of everything else, you're able to pick up the smell, the scent. Fantastic.
This product is much more like a shrub tincture plus cordial mix up together kind of thing. Basically.
So the product isn't really a shrub, but it does, I understand why you would say shrub, because shrubs have a lot of acidity to it. So with a cordial, it's very much a syrup, right? It's still in the syrup family, but it just has higher acidity, right? So it's a higher amount of citric acid, malic acid, you name it. And because of that, it's less sweet, more acidic, but gives a different balance to your cocktail. That makes sense? Yeah. All right. Blueberry. Yeah. So, the next cocktail that I have for it is the Paloma. How many of you love a Paloma? Yeah? It's one of my favorite drinks right now. I think there's so much you can do with the Paloma, with the grapefruit, with the citrus. It's almost like a margarita, but it's got a little bit of a deeper flavor profile to it. So we have a beautiful pink grapefruit syrup in our portfolio. And with the rue berry, right? Now we're able to combine that with our grapefruit and give it an even bigger profile to it. So we include fresh lime juice, tequila, and we top it off with premium soda. Right? So the soda, the bubbles, it's still a very important aspect of this. So the idea is to combine all the ingredients, shake them, strain them, and just top it up. Right? So it should have a nice deep pink color from the MONIN grapefruit syrup, but then also the rue berry is going to make that pop a little bit extra in terms of the flavor profile. So while Varun gets that ready, I'm going to talk about the white penja pepper. So I was talking a lot about MONIN linking with different villages and small farmers and just giving back to the biodiversity and the responsibility we have as a responsible company and trying to increase our impact with nature and reduce carbon emissions. But with the white penja pepper, this is where you're gonna get such a beautiful profile that you're not gonna find anywhere else. So the white penja pepper is from Cameroon, and it's harvested in volcanic soil. Right? So when you think about volcanoes, you think about that fire brimming, you think about smoke, you think about all of these things that make volcano dangerous. But anything that's grown in the terroir is going to pick up the characteristics of the dominant area. Right? So if there's volcanic soil, anything that grows will have a smokier profile to it. And that's what white penja does. So when you think about smokiness, there's so many different types of drinks and cocktails that you will associate with that. One of them, whiskey. Right? Another one, tequila. So mezcal, smokiness, whiskey, aging in the barrel, right? So these are things that you would love to pair with white penja, and you can apply it in so many different ways. One of the ways we apply the white penja is in an old fashioned. So, in my opinion, the old fashioned doesn't need to be messed with too much. Right? I think the old fashioned is a classic drink, and I think that people that like their old fashions like it a very specific way. So, MONIN, we have our pure cane sugar syrup. Okay? So, when you think of an old fashioned, it's 3 ingredients: whiskey, bitters, and a sweet. So, the pure cane, but I decided to mix it with white penja to give it a little bit of that smoky camphor. And that's given you a very, very unique old fashioned that you're not going to find in too many other places unless you copy the recipe and put it on your bars, which I'm very happy for you to do, because then it means I can have it in more places. But one of the things with Paragon is the aromatic quality, okay? So not only are you going to get the aromatic quality of the white penja and the smokiness, you're going to get the orange zest, okay? So fruit zest around that drink is very important because it brings another layer to the flavor profile of everything that you have in the glass. So at Paragon, because we have the perfume technology that we've used to infuse flavor, this is where we signal to you that you need to think about the aromatics of the drink along with the flavor profile of the drink. Okay? So I'll just let that pass around. So, like I said, a little bit goes a long way. Okay? So because of this acidity balance, use a tiny, tiny little bit and then let that enhance. Let that give you a long-lasting mouthfeel, long-lasting flavor profile. And then, like I said before, use your imaginations. These are templates. You take these templates and you expand on it, right? You play with it. You see what else it pairs with. Because I paired what I thought of immediately, but I've tried it in so many different applications, and I've been able to really create some unique profiles. But only you would know what's right for your guests. Only you would know what's right for your bar. And then you'll be able to enrich your menus. So that is the first chapter. Chapter 1. Are there any questions so far? I'm sure you may have a lot. It's kind of complex. Might need to sit on it a little bit and try a little bit. But even genuine feedback, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. If there's any thoughts, if there's anything that you would do a little differently, or if there's anything that you would not change, whatever your thoughts are. In the green, what do you think?
So the preparation was really good. The aroma of that was really amazing. So I hope it will be, we can do it with the non-alcoholic drinks as well. A lot of things. I hope we can find it there.
I think with the one thing I do have to say with the non-alcoholic, because there's a little trace, it can't truly be called a non-alcoholic depending on the area you live, right? But you can call it low ABV because all you'd have to do is add Paragon, some of the extra flavors, and then a non-alcoholic mixer, right? But otherwise, it's something that would definitely work. What are your thoughts? There's a microphone coming beside you.
Yeah, I thought of that because the world is going with the new trend with the healthier concept as well. So if someone gonna use in a luxury property, it's gonna be a much better one. So every guest will have much more flavors, tiny and simple. Bartenders will have like easy life.
Absolutely. That's the thing. I haven't necessarily spoken too much about a lot of the trends today, but one of the biggest trends is health, right? People are thinking a lot more about what's on the label, the naturality of something. They're thinking a lot more of these things. And Paragon, because the ingredients are coming from a beautiful, beautiful source, we are supporting these villages, we are supporting these people, but it is something that if you were to add it to some healthier, low ABV beverages, you're getting a lot of flavor impact for something that is perceived to be a very boring category, right? So if you just add it to a nice soda or a mixer, ginger ale, whatever it is, then you're adding and enhancing it. And that's what Paragon's supposed to do, it's just enhance the quality. Go for it. Let me get you a mic.
So one of the big trends I see in the big cities is basically the low ABVs because a lot of let us say clients those days they understand the health importance. So what we see is generally going to come out, have a cocktail or two, but then you're going to stop yourself, or if it's a special occasion, you're going to go full on it. So what has happened is if you go every bar in Dubai, if you go every bar in London, there's bars, you will always see on the first page low ABV. And this is something that is going to grow in a crazy level because you have 5, 6 drinks. You don't have this consideration of I have to wake up tomorrow, but you don't want to go for Coca-Cola. And this is where actually Paragon can extremely boost your sales, especially in any kind of property where you have maybe some wellness treatments, spas, because there's something that is our mission. And then what you give them is another sweet drink. Again, different style. So this is where you can take sodas, Paragons, easy combination. Really, really good.
And you do have a lot of new non-alcoholic sparkling as well, right? So there's a lot to do in that category with non-alcoholic. There's a lot of new innovation. And Paragon only really enhances that category as much as possible. So I'm gonna play a little short video. Good friend of ours, the global ambassador of Paragon, Mr. Michel, will be heavily featured. Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna make sure this is good. The introduction to the mystic. So, beautiful video. But the video matches the exceptional craftsmanship that goes behind Paragon. So, creativity, when it comes down to the theme behind each chapter, is very, very important because it has to explain an aspect of the human story. And when we talk about peppers, yeah, we're talking about some rare botanicals, something that has 3,600 different varieties, and it shows the ingenuity of the human being when it comes down to food production. But now, we're looking at ancient civilizations. We're looking at our connection to the spiritual realm, and we're looking at the building blocks that actually bind us all together, no matter what part of the world you're from. We are all bound by some very, very, very interesting connections, right? When you study history, I like studying history a little bit, right? There's always a connection, right? There's a concept known as the triptych, the mystic triptych. And when you look at architecture across the world, every major civilization somehow had the same shapes. They didn't hop on a boat and then drive down or sail down to South America, see their architecture and say, yes, I like that, I'll take that back to Egypt. No, this was instinctual. Okay? So the triptych, architecture-wise, you'll see one column, a bigger column in the middle, and then a third. And when you study that triptych across multiple civilizations, you see it everywhere. And they had no connection other than the fact that we were all human beings. And so this is something that this chapter explores, right? But we've decided to ramp up the production and look even deeper into how to infuse flavors using some techniques from the perfume industry. So, we have led ourselves to a family of precious fragrances that have used throughout history to unite the visible to the invisible. Some you may be familiar with, but others, once I explain it, you won't be able to unsee it. So, ancient civilization's secrets, we have 3 different scents that we're playing with. We have Palo Santo from the Gran Chaco region in South America. We have Labdanum from Spain. And then we have Vetiver from Java and Indonesia. And when it comes down to these ingredients and these aromas, this is the triptych I'm speaking of. They elevate the soul. This is the connection we have to the spiritual realm. They open ourselves to inner self and reflection. But then also, it reconnects us with the earth. Okay? Because they're grown of the earth, and they're the people that utilize these ingredients find numerous ways to create with these ingredients. The first, Vetiver from Java. So vetiver is a root. And when you smell vetiver, this is something that you'll pick up a lot when you smell a nice cologne. It's got a nice woody character to it, an earthy character to it. And when you smell a beautiful men's cologne, whether it's Calvin Klein or anything like that, you'll notice these little traces, right? So vetiver is an ideal ingredient for creating cocktails, especially for aged spirits. So if you're creating something with tequila, or you're creating something that's a sour style cocktail, this is something that can really, really support it. So to extract the vetiver, because it's a root, this is where we use this technique known as supercritical CO2. Okay? So the steam distillation, because we're extracting the actual root and the core of the ingredient, you're gonna get notes of berries, you're gonna get hints of spices, and also licorice as well. So just those 3 little profile elements, adding that to a cocktail, and even little tiny trace amounts, you're gonna give yourself lots of layers. And for that, we created a beautiful hibiscus whiskey sour. So hibiscus with beautiful woody notes, right? This is something that I thought would go really, really well together. And then when you combine that with a bourbon whiskey, because it's sweet, it's bold, and then some lemon juice to extract even more citrus. And then what I wanted to really do was create a little bit of a nice mouthfeel with egg white or cocktail foamer. So you get that beautiful whiskey sour, nice, beautiful, soft mouthfeel from the drink, and it expresses the flavors differently. Because some of these are very intense flavors. So you need an application that's going to make it softer. And that's what we've done with the hibiscus whiskey sour. So next up, how many of you have heard of Palo Santo? So Palo Santo, it's a wood, right? So in Gran Chaco, there's a tree that grows like very, very much in that region. And when you visit the villages that produce Palo Santo, they're making furniture with it, they're making all kinds of different artifacts. But Palo Santo, when you burn it, it has a very distinct smell with the smoke that is said to clear the room and clean it of bad energy. Okay? So with the Palo Santo smoke, a lot of different bartenders have tried their best to create some sort of syrup. some sort of cordial with it, but it's never consistent enough. So with the Palo Santo, with this we created an essential oil and used the other elements like supercritical CO2 to infuse the flavors. So, as you can see on the bottom right-hand side, we use molecular distillation and steam distillation. And it's just a little tiny graph of where the flavor profile notes lead. And I'm gonna do something a little different. I need one more bartender to come up and make this Palo Santo Bellini. And I think I'm gonna call someone from the SIMDI Beverage team to come on up and make this beverage. Who should I choose, Adam?
SIMDI Bev team. Bishop.
Okay, any SIMDI team? Yeah, someone from the SIMDI team. Who would like to come up and make a beverage?
Bishop.
Come on now, give him a round of applause.
Mr. Rishi from SIMDI Bev.
All right, so come on up. Tell us all your name, bartender.
Hi, I'm Rishabh, aka Rishi.
All right, sounds good. And have you had a chance to taste Paragon before today?
I just allowed to sniff, but today we were waiting for play to taste.
All right, sounds good. So let's get to it. So the Bellini, very, very, very classic drink, right? But with the Bellini, you have peach, okay? So with peach, typically what you're doing there is getting a peach fruit mix or fresh fruit, because you want to get that nice texture, but you're combining that with sparkling as well. So the recipe we have here is the Fruit de MONIN peach. We're doing 15 ml. And then Palo Santo cordial, 10 ml. So this time I ramped up the amount. And what I really wanted to do with it was give more body, more flavor, more texture. Okay? So you're gonna do Palo Santo, 10 ml. Then you're gonna do 40 of vodka and 30 ml of fresh lemon juice. So you're gonna put that in the shaker, and then we will top it with sparkling right after. All right, so let's get your shaker going. Move these over so that they can see what you're up to. Yes, good man. Good man. All right. So let's start with Le Fruit, 15 ml. Good man. And on the same side, give me 10 ml of Paragon Palo Santo. I feel like all of you ate a lot of food at lunch. I feel the fatigue. Just a touch more, do a touch more. Yeah, good man. And put that in. Now 30 ml of fresh lemon juice. And 40 ml of vodka. There it is. Yeah, so do full of that one and then 10 ml right afterwards. All right, good, good, good. Now fill that with ice. And have you shaken before, sir? Your first time shaking? All right then. All right. And clap for our bartender. Apparently his first time shaking. Apparently. He's new to the bartending industry here. So now I'd like you to strain into that glass the nice champagne flute. are. So in a lot of cases, we would double strain here just to make sure that it's a bit more clear. We don't get any ice chips in there, but that is okay. That is okay. Still looks pretty. Still looks pretty. And we're gonna top it off with a little bit of Prosecco. Yeah, there we go. And right there. Perfect. Ooh, it's got a little afro. Oh, there it is. Round of applause. So, as always, instead of stirring when you have a topper of soda, just give it a little lift. So just one I did already, that's number 2, and that's number 3. So you don't disturb the bubbles. There is the zest. Beautiful zest. You've done this before. There we are. And there we have it. Now, who would like to taste? Give it to somebody that you would like to taste and get them to critique your Bellini.
It should be ready.
Should be ready. Should be a lady. Okay, your choice, your decision. All right. So, let's see. Will she like the Bellini? Only time will tell. Mamma mia!
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia! There we are. Enjoy your Bellini. So I would like to get someone else up because I'd like to see an old-fashioned go out. I would like to see an old-fashioned come out. Let's get somebody up here. Gonna go back to the recipe for it. A little bit goes a long way, they say. All right, who's gonna make an old-fashioned? Oh, straight ahead. Come on up. Come on up. Big, beautiful smile. Come on up. Let's make an old-fashioned together. There we go. Oh, he's ready. His sleeves are already rolled up. He's ready. He was born to make this old-fashioned. What's your name?
I'm Yoma.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. And are you a bartender?
Yeah.
Oh, you are. Where do you work?
I work in Malaidu.
Malaidu. Fantastic. Maybe one day I'll be able to see and we'll make some drinks together. But for now, let's see what you got. Come on back here. All right. So here is your glass. And have you made an old-fashioned before? I'm sure you have. All right. So you're just gonna follow this recipe here. And, I think you can just build it in the glass. Okay? So 10 ml of this syrup. Pure cane. Where's the pure cane? Ah, there we are. Pure cane, you have this. And then we also need a little bit of white penja. There you are. And then some American whiskey with bitters right in front of you. There we go. So, go for it. Whenever you are ready, fine sir. So the old fashioned is actually the original template for the cocktail. It comes down to having 3 elements: bitter, sweet, and your base. Right? So when you're building anything, it's always got to have its base, and then you have your modifiers. And it looks like he's definitely a bartender. I see that nice pour. He's got that pose. Very, very nice. So you're going to do 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, and then just 5 milliliters of the white penja. So 10 of the cane and 5 of the white penja. Yes, sir. Okay, and before you add the whiskey, give it a little swirl and nose it a little bit. Give it a nice nose. Yeah, so it's a very unique combination, right? What do you pick up? What do you pick up? What's the differences?
I think bitter tastes very nice with the burger. I think it's more. I think it's released up already the bitters.
Amazing, amazing. Fantastic. So now you're adding 50 of bourbon. And it's right, because this acidity will enhance the bitter notes and lift the other flavors up. Only with 5 ml. All right, and now add your ice and give it a stir. And then after that, you gotta choose who you would like to give your gift to. There we are. So then stir, and then the last thing you'll need is a beautiful orange zest. I will chop that up for you. Round of applause for him. Give it a beautiful zest for the camera. Good man, good man. Yes. So rubbing the full edges, make sure the olfactory effect is in there. Because when you drink a cocktail or you drink any beverage, the nose is a very important factor. So, who gets to be the lucky one to try? And don't forget the SIMDI management team as well. We've got a few good people there that are very, very well versed in what makes a very good drink. So if you want to get some good opinions, do not forget your friends.
I'll give to my bar manager right over there, so he's gonna taste the sir.
Fantastic. Let's go. Let's go. To the bar manager. You must be a good manager. Your staff takes good care of you.
Very nice.
Your aromas are very nice. Got the check mark there. Perfect. Beautiful. These are the words I like to hear. Round of applause for another beautiful cocktail with very minimal changes in effort. And for those of you who are trying some of these Paragon cocktails, so far so good. You're liking the profile. I hope so. I didn't see it. Didn't turn around. Seeing some nodding. Fantastic. So, just gonna go back to my final one. Betty Ver. Already done that one. Palo Santo, we've done. And Labdanum. Labdanum. So Labdanum, it is a resin that you typically find in soaps and in perfumes as well. But when you smell Labdanum, long and short, it's almost like a fresh shower. You know, when someone has just finished taking a shower and it's just a nice, fresh, soapy smell, it is fantastic. And if you combine that with floral notes, vanilla, spices, then you're creating a beautiful aromatic profile for your drink. So it is a shrub, creates that resin, and as they say in ancient Egypt, these essences serve as a bridge towards moral purity and divine embalming. It symbolizes the breath between eternal life. So we do get different extraction technologies here: steam distillation, solvent extraction, which is basically your traditional distillation as well. And that's essential to be able to capture the full profile. And for this one, we have created a gin fizz. Now the gin fizz is one of the most famous beverages from New Orleans and in the cocktail world. And with this, what I really enjoy about the gin fizz is the fact that you've got this nice frothy texture. So when I was thinking about labdanum and soap, I was thinking about a bubble bath, right? So you make it nice and frothy, and it's almost like you have this beautiful bubble bath visual, But when you drink it, it's nice and refreshing, zesty, with a little hint of vanilla and labdanum sweetness. So for this, we need a very strong shaker because you're gonna do a reverse shake. You're gonna do a dry shake. But the amount of time you need to shake, it's not for the faint of heart. So I might need 2 bartenders. I'm looking at one right now. Yeah, you, exactly. Come on up, give him a round of applause. And then I think I need somebody with like big arms, to finish this off. To make sure that this gin fizz is shaken properly. I want to see this beautiful gin fizz. Big arms, tall. I need some Balkan strength. Adam? Come on up, give Adam a round of applause.
To Adam.
All right. When you need strength, you need to go to the Balkans. This is a fact. This is a fact. So step up to the plate. Oh, perfect. There we go. All right. So I'm going to get you place the ingredients in, and we'll get Mr. Adam to finish the shake off. So you've got your gin, you've got your vanilla syrup from MONIN, and you've got your labdanum. We need some lime juice as well, and some egg whites. And then we'll finish off with soda, not spoda. Sorry for the typo there. So, are you a bartender first and foremost?
Now I manage a team of bartenders. I'm a restaurant and bar manager. Boran. That place is all I'm thinking on it.
So, flip over that shaker. And first things first, I would like you to put in 30 ml of the egg white. So the other side, the short side. Yeah, there we go. So just fill up that jigger and dump it in. Good man. Next, I would like 30 ml of fresh lime juice. Perfect. Now I would like, and I'm actually going to kick this up a little bit more, 15 ml of vanilla. Very nice. And I would like 10 ml of labdanum cordial. But before you pour it, give the labdanum a nice smell. Like open up the bottle, take a little smell of it, and then let me know what you think.
Super herbaceous, woody, floral, all the nice things.
All the nice things, that's what I like to hear. There we go, you nailed it. Do you want a job? So, we got 10 ml of that, and then after that, we're gonna do 40 of gin. So you will fill up that 30 ml side, and then you'll do 10 ml afterwards. All right. So now, I'd like you to seal the shaker and give it a nice 10-second shake. Round of applause while he shakes. 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. Boom. Okay. So now, Varun, can you add a little bit of ice and then hand the shaker to Mr. Adam? There we are. Yeah. There we go. So just put one hand on top, one hand on the bottom, secure it, and give it a nice shake. Yeah, round of applause. Oh, Chill, he's injured. He's sacrificing today a little bit. All right, so now I'd like you to strain this into here and then hand it back to our man. We're gonna give it a little extra shaking love. Yeah, there we go. Normally I would just do ice first and reverse shake it. I would just shake with ice, strain it, and then dry shake it after. It gives it a nice extra. So you can dump that ice and then seal the shaker. One last big shake. Yes, sir. And let's get that frothy. Yes. Final shake. Fantastic. You got some great technique. So, strain into this glass. See how frothy that looks, right? So because of Paragon's aromatic qualities, when you do the dry shake and the reverse shake, you're introducing oxygen into it that's gonna bring out even more qualities. So now just a tiny little bit. Yeah, that looks fantastic. And garnish that with a beautiful lime wedge. Make it nice and frothy. And there we are. Round of applause for that beautiful looking fizz. Now, Adam, you get to decide where that fizz is going. All right, it is what it is. Let us know what you think.
To be honest, really refreshing. As well, quite complex aromatics. I feel a lot of citrus coming as well through. It's actually the biggest issue I have is keep drinking cocktails because they tend to be too sweet in my opinion. Gin tonic guy. But this, easy. Easy. Please leave a bottle in my room.
I know a guy. Can definitely link you up. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for your help. So you see, a little bit goes a long way. Tiny little touch of Paragon adds such complex notes. And like I was kind of saying earlier, right? A lot of the cocktails and beverages that we have, and also the teams, we're having a little bit of trouble finding stuff, right? So with what you have, you need to do more, right? So you can do more with a little bit. That's what we're providing to you with Paragon. So these are the triptych notes when it comes down to what makes Paragon special. You have the citric, which is the sharpest acidity point. You have lactic, which gives you the mouthfeel and gives you the strongest attack. And then gluconic for that long-lasting mouthfeel. And this is what I was talking about when I was talking about the amount of time you feel each ingredient of acid and how it impacts flavor. So the yellow line is citric acid. That mouthfeel finishes after 5 seconds. That's still a very good expressive drink. 6 seconds for malic acid, and you find malic acid in apples, right? This type of thing, tartaric and banana. But then 8 seconds for gluconic acid, right? So when Adam's mentioning complex notes, you're feeling those notes for 8 seconds. And this is what makes you want to keep going back in for a drink. So when we think about ingredients, don't just think about the ingredient itself. Think about its impact. Think about what it does for the drink that you have, right? There's levels to this. And this is why in my 65 years of age, I know, right? Imagine. Imagine. Seeing if you're paying attention. But yeah, in my 65 years of age, this is why I'm still studying all this stuff. Because what I know now, sure, it's more than what I might have known 10 years ago. But it's nowhere close to what I'll know in 10 years from now. right? There's so much more to learn. And this is a whole other level of science. So that's what Paragon affords. It opens up this whole new avenue for you to explore. Not just the science behind making ingredients, but also where these ingredients come from, the civilizations that created it, but also what goes into sustaining these civilizations.
So I've already explained this side, but what makes Paragon unique?
Tells a story. And when you're making drinks, you should do more than just make the drink and put it in front of the guest. Tell a story. Either you're telling a story about the cocktail, or you're telling a story about your venue, or you're telling a story about yourself. Okay? The best people behind beverage tell stories. This is what connects you to people. Okay? You get to explore unseen flavors. We have 2 chapters. I know they're making a 3rd. They're working on it, right? But we have to explore the 1st and 2nd right now. Let's see where we can go with that. And you get to discover what gluconic acid can do for your cocktails, okay? So gluconic acid, the long-lasting mouthfeel, the long-lasting attack. Even if you have a simple beverage, like a mojito, like a pina colada, what will a dash of Paragon do for that drink? Probably a lot. Okay? So with that said, that has been my TED Talk on Paragon. Thank you so much for today. I'm very, very happy to be here in Maldives. And, I think the social hour, if there's any questions that you have, please do come and ask me. I'd love to talk to each and every single one of you and connect with you. And then we can do the whole social media exchange if you want. And otherwise, I will be back. Yes, I promise. So thank you again for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the food. I want to give a big thank you to Varun. Please give Varun a big round of applause. I feel like this guy's gonna need at least 36 hours of sleep after the past week, for sure. But thank you so much. Honestly, it's always good to work with good people, and I think this is a partnership for years to come. Absolutely. And big thank you to the rest of the SIMDI team. Honestly, you guys have some good things going on here, some great partnerships, and it's a big pleasure and honor for us to be a part of it. Thank you very much, Miro and Angelo. I think at the end of the day, we're a team, but the work that you guys put in it's been for a long time, and there's a reason I'm standing here and where we are today. So thank you very, very much. And the hotel. Thank you very much, Kurumba. You guys have set up a very beautiful scene and welcomed all of us in here. Lunch was great, right? Yeah, big round of applause for lunch. Big round of applause. The fish grilled to perfection, so nice. So thank you very much to the team here. And thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you very, very much. It's been my pleasure. And let's go and enjoy some refreshments, and we'll catch up after this. Thank you very much.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please give a round of applause to beverage expert of MONIN Middle East, Mr. Nana Sachet. Mr. Nana, let's play one of your cool musics. Yeah. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, the boat will be ready by 3:30 for the first transfer. But before that, we're going to take a group picture. So we had to capture this wonderful memory of us together at this great day of MONIN Day 2025. So we humbly invite all our dear invitees on stage to take a group picture with Team MONIN and Team SIMDI. Come on, guys, please join us. Now let's play some nice music while we take the picture, right? Mr. Miroslav, What kind of music would you like to play this time? Swing. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, kick it up a little bit. Check 1, 2. Come on. Hi, all our dear colleagues, invitees. Please come up on the stage, and our team will guide you where you could stand, but you can come up on stage. Oh, nice.